Who the fuck you go to the show with last night?
I didn't go to the show last night.
You ain't got to lie. 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 You ain Why
and gentlemen, boys and girls, yet again, welcome to the Up to Unified Live. I should say now we did go through a little bit of a rebrand, but this is still the Upsurge Premier League. For League of Legends, I will be your host for the evening, Ravish, the most ravishing man of the internet. And joined here by my side, as always, by Mr. B Down.
Look at that.
Boulevard. What's
Sorry,
up,
it takes
baby?
a lot of practice desk work. I'm doing good, bro. How you doing, Robbie?
Bro, I'm doing fan freaking tastic, man. You know
Okay.
me, bro. Another day, another
True.
play, and another wonderful time to be able to watch some more League of Legends right here for the third place match, a best of 5 going into today, and we got nobody else on, so let's just move on into what we're talking about,
Oh,
right?
wow,
Nobody
damn.
else is here, right? It's
What?
You really gonna?
I just
you
get
really
skipped
gonna do you like
over
that?
for a while. We talked about the 11 R's to roll in my name, and you're just gonna skip me?
I mean,
I think
bro, you
that's
might
why
as well.
he skipped you.
Bro, I'm about to. You know what, Eric, bro? I'm about to give you the same hurt which you dealt to me, Pram, just like a little bit ago. So this is my retribution. But of course, you know what, you right. Of course, I should introduce the other ball man on the desk, a staple in the amateur scene, and one of the most handsome guys I know, Mr. Eric Deslux Beltran.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear right there. I will fix our introductions a little more. I want to welcome. Okay, I got to look this way. Discount Golden Boy, Discount Freak, and because Beatdown knows Muay Thai, I ain't messing with that. He's Beatdown Boulevard. Show the man some respect.
That's right, bro. It's like, okay, now as this kind of Golden Boy, let's get on to it here, homies. You know, wait, hold on. I should be wearing like my Hawaiian shirt and the pink one out here. They're going at it, but just to make
You
sure
go
I can copy
change.
him.
Me and Eric can talk
Dude,
while you
I'm
do
out.
that.
Yeah. I
Alright,
thought we
there.
were doing Sweater Gang here. Everyone's now abandoning me.
Oh wait,
so.
true. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got my sweater right here, dude. Let me just go ahead.
So anyway, I'm your host, Eric Desser.
Yes, sir.
This was the
There you
big it all
go.
together, man. I'm here, bro. We all got sweaters games here, man. We all good to go. Don't you worry, Eric. I wouldn't leave you out to dry like that. You know, but like,
Because it's hard in here, man.
I'm gone. It's because I can also tell by your sunburn. It's gonna be it's gonna be hot today, bro.
California sun, man. California sun.
Yes, sir. But you know what else is hot though? That matchup we got
Tell me.
going into tonight, baby. We got Conviction versus AOE randoms, bro. These guys have been a staple on the stream. We've seen this matchup go back and forth for the third time tonight, and every single time it has gone handily in one person's favor. AOE randoms convincingly taking that almost every time. But B, why don't you talk to me a little bit about your experience with Conviction to start off?
All right, so I think from what we've seen in Conviction lately, it's like you said. Every time we've seen this movie before, and it usually does end with a pretty swift win for the AOE randoms. But I think today, or rather last week, during their semifinals appearance there, I think we saw a little bit of what Conviction could actually get done. They had a draft that they won with that I thought was really interesting. It was it was this game right here where you see them have the Mordekaiser, the Gwen, and the Viego. It's very skirmish heavy, and they actually managed to get out a pretty convincing win. Like, as soon as the Distal Things gets this kill, afterwards, you start to see them win out on these team fights because Viego, Gwen are extremely good at skirmishing. And they actually managed to take a win off that. So I think draft is going to be a really important thing for them going into this game.
Consider what we've seen so far between these two teams. Yeah, like, of course, you know, with AOE, considering who's able to get red side, I find the draft drastically changes between these two teams because both of them do prefer to be on the receiving end, but both of them prefer to get that late end counter pick to bring everything together. But on the other end for AOE, here, Deathstrokes, like, they've been so dominant throughout the season, only recently falling to a revival. Do you think this is the comeback for them?
Yeah, I really do see it coming through because just look at the regular season, Ravish. Look at what AOE randoms were able to do. They went 12-0 in the regular season, and, you know, just divide that in half. You got 6-0 in terms of series. They went undefeated. They had the perfect season. You were talking about the struggles they had when it came to playoffs. You know, they did get the quick 2-0 sweep in their first matchup, but there you go. They got hard stomped by Revival. It was a tough series nonetheless. It was a 3-0, but it was a competitive 3-0. Early games, AOE randoms were able to find it. And that's what we're kind of hoping for when it comes to AoE randoms. Can they really sort that early game? Because AoE randoms, the fault they had was they just didn't really, they telegraphed their jungle moves a little bit too much when it came to the early game. If they could really stop that, they're a strong team. They're a dominant team. We've seen what they can do. Can they bring more? My answer is going to be yes. I do see them bringing a very, very competitive, hot, spicy matchup for this series today.
I mean, I like it, bro. As they say down in California, it's good. It's good. It's gonna be muy caliente, I imagine. But almost as hot as it is in my room right now. If y'all could see my pitch, you would not want me here. But
I want to see
moving on.
that, brother. I don't want to
Move
see
over,
that.
Cubby.
But all the difference is that my hair is not as sharp as Cubby's hairline, unfortunately. But moving on, as to what else is sharp, though, is good. That's
Man, why you gotta
I'll
do me
cry
like
for-
that? You can't talk about hairlines with Death Rooks this year. Man, my insecurities.
Bro, it's okay, bro. You know what, bro? It works out for you because you got one straight hairline, homie. It's clean, bro. It's easy. It don't even matter. But if we're looking at the match going into tonight, though, of course, like you mentioned here, Desrex, it is going to be very AOE favored. But I'm assuming Conviction saw the games last week, so they know, AOE they can definitely be defeated. And what it's going to come down to is going to be the 5v5 team fight. So, Big Tom, when you're looking at this, right, who are you favoring just across the board? And do you think AOE can fall to Conviction today?
Who am I favoring? I'm favoring
favoring?
AoE randoms. And
Right.
and as much as everybody wants to say, oh, it's because they're Canadian, and Beatdown, you're also Canadian, and well, you're probably right. But also, AoE randoms most likely. I think Desrex put it really well. They had a great season up until they faced Revival, who, let's be real, are most likely going to be the ones who win Unified this split. So I don't think that's actually a real blemish on their record. I don't think it makes AoE randoms actually look particularly bad here. And that's why I think they're still very strong and very favored going into tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly, I feel like AoE randoms versus Revival was almost a finals matchup if you were to kind of predict this in the long run of the tournament. But it's a shame we got it before finals were able to get there. But yeah, I completely piggyback off that. I echo your thoughts completely. I see AoE randoms really dominating this game. And, I'll shave my head if they don't take a 3-0. With a lot of force coming in. I mean, look at what they have. Chim and Josie, for example, are a very dominant duo. Chim with a 10.1 KDA in the regular season. A lot of that just because Josie was able to bring a lot of pressure over there. We saw on Red side, they would usually go with the Lee Sin pick, the Lilia pick, the Diana pick, something that's aggressive and just focus on that top side because Short Drop and Pacus, you don't really need to help that lane. That's a strong lane that tends to win without any intervention.
One big thing about you is that you mentioned as well before your Deathstrokes is we also have Young Bing as well. Subbing in for Conviction. So he'll be joined back with his previous teammates that he played with UCI, along with this little thing. So a synergy coming back into I would be really interested to see, how he plays alongside this team. And considering right now it's third place, so y'all just fighting for standings, y'all fighting for pride and nothing more, of course, for third place, right? Beatdown was rolling his mustache to see, perhaps you can get a little bit more out of it.
No. Do you see what my fingers are doing? What is this?
Okay. Oh, you're rubbing together. You have dust on your
Money.
fingers. There.
Yeah.
Okay, there's golf. Money.
Yeah. God damn it, bro.
Look, man, I'm real bad at charades. Don't drop hints. And also for the women
That's
out there
good to know.
as well. I'm real bad at reading hints, bro. Just tell me things straight up. It's not gonna work out if you don't do that.
Right,
but
true.
if we look at it, of course, now Deathstrokes has bet his whole hairline and all of his hair on the top of his head for this bet too, right? So a lot of stakes being put on the line. You know what, man? I'll join you in on that, bro. If things go the Conviction's way, my hair also all gone. So a lot of pride on the line for me as well. So with that, I do want to introduce our predictions for tonight. If Hyper, you could just put those down below. So what we have going on, it's going to be 3-0s from everybody here. I don't think should be really surprised. We're people with a lot of bravado in our chest. We're not afraid to speak our mind. But if Conviction can prove us wrong, I would absolutely love to see it. One thing to be noted is that we will be doing things a little bit differently today. So watch out for things switching up across the board on the talent. Now, with that being said, speaking of the talent on the desk today, we do have our caster for tonight that'd be Mad Magical and a Chilling Walk that takes in a game number 1 for this best of fives that being told. We're going to do a very short break, actually. And when we come back, we'll be back with the casters. See you then.
Welcome, welcome, one and all. It's the third place matchup here at, well, now Unified Premier. It's still the Upsurge Premier League for one more time at least. For today and tomorrow, I'm Mad Magical, joined in by the one and only Chilling Walk. I hope you are as excited as I am to be able to cast some amazing games.
Alex, this match is going to be pretty lit, man, not going to lie, because both these teams, they played just these previous couple days in the Challengers Uprising Open Qualifiers, and we got to see some of them play, and actually some of them make some quite a good amount of upsets.
Yeah, especially AOE randoms. They were able to pull off quite the upset, weren't they, over Evil Genius's Prodigies during the, I believe, the first round of the Open Qualifiers as well, in the qualifying round, to be able to go 2-0 and lock in their spot for Cup. But then on the other side, Conviction, they participated in both rounds, the first and second of the Open Qualifiers. Both times they made it to the qualifying round, being able to beat their opponents previously, but then unfortunately falling just short, so they weren't unfortunately able to move on and try to see if they can continue on into the Proving Ground circuit.
You know, just a little bit unfortunate, especially looking at Conviction in that day too, because in day one, you know, they actually had a pretty tough round, losing against AOE Bray, the main team that had Dark Wings and RBM on that previous jungler and mid laner from Zeus Kittens that played with the Lorm. That's where it is. That's where it is a little bit surprising. But then, of course, second day, lost to Cloud9 Amateur, man. And day one, you know, a lot of these professional organizations didn't make it through. But then the second day, they were all vying to make sure they got themselves in, and I'm pretty sure all of them got in, Alex, and that's why Conviction unfortunately couldn't make it out. But for AOE Brady, I mean, I think the desk already said it, man. All of them were saying 3-0 to them because of their most recent performance in Challengers Uprising and because of just their track record so far.
Right, and this is why it's going to be what we'd assume would be a pretty one-sided affair. However, Conviction, they have been known to be able to take down teams if they don't respect them, especially going against their sister team here for AOE back in the last round where they were trying to play up against them. Game 3, we see Gwen and Viego locked in, and boom, Conviction were able to take that game very quickly. So as we hop into the draft here, both of these teams, the number 1 and 2 for their divisions as well. But if we use that as any indication, AOE randoms did not lose a single game in their. I'm not even talking about a single series, a single game
Yeah.
in their entire division.
And remember, both these teams are from the same division too, Alex, right? They both came from the Infernal squad. And then when we look at this draft specifically, I gotta agree with Beatdown, man. This draft is gonna be mad important because we look at this patch right now. Red side, gigantic disadvantage. You know why? Morgana on the table, Rumble on the table. You also have Viego and Gwen on the table. Lee Sin top on the table as Conviction already banned away. So many OPs are in this game, Alex. And that's where, on red side, you just have to straight up ban 3 out of these 5 champions, or you have to choose to see if you and the other team are down for a handshake.
Yeah, I always feel like a blue side Lee Sin ban is one of those things where it's, if you're banning that, it's an indication that you have no reason to want to play it yourselves, right? It's like a Morgana blue side ban. You want to force your opponents to have to ban something like that on 11-10, 11-11 being the same thing. If you're forced to ban it, you're not confident enough in your ability to be able to take this into the draft.
It's a little bit hard, though, to argue against it, too, though, because Lee Sin, right? If on the red side, it can be flexed in many ways. Flex top, mid, or jungle. That's what's up?
Same with
Well,
blue.
But things that red, you can hide all the way through for the last pick, Alex. With blue side, you're gonna reveal it eventually, you know. And usually, Lee Sin is just beating against a lot of these other mid laners, and along with that. But one thing I do have to question though is that whenever you pick Lee Sin on either side, can all your players play that champion? It's real hard, man. I mean, we watch MSI where Lee Sin was being flexed all 3 roles. Perk was one who actually, when I was watching, actually had the ability to do the good old Broxa. Your ward hop, you kick flash, and then you sonic wave into resonating strike right after. That's something super hard to do, and that's where, you know, if I'm Conviction, don't want to deal with it, don't want to have anyone else deal with it. But right now, different bans from AOE, you know, you got the Nocturne and the Galio. Of course, Nocturne is really strong, but it's not one of those OPs, Alex. It's not the Gwen or the Viego. And that's where I'm a little bit surprised. I think AOE Rams is like, yo, I want to see if you are down to see if you guys want to handshake this. And if they are, then that's great for both teams.
As we get into the second part, it's going to be Diana, the final ban from Conviction. And this is something that Beatdown and I were talking about previously back when we were trying to get everything settled, is that Diana is a great pick into the Rumble or Morgana. If you want to be able to lock that in immediately first yourselves, well, you have to always fear that Diana pick coming out. So this, to me, indicates that Conviction wants one or the other. They want the Rumble or they want the Morgana. I'd imagine it would be the Morgana, something a little bit easier to pilot.
Personally, I would just handshake the junglers. You know, you ban Rumble, you get Morgana, it's no big deal. Or you know, Udra's still on the table too. So instead, they're going to be leaving Gwen and Viego open. Morgana, only Morgana and Lily are probably the only 2 AP junglers in the game. Of course, there's still Elise in there too, but we don't really see a lot of Elise players right now, Alex, which is surprising.
About Evelynn. What about Evelynn?
I mean, Evelyn's the same thing, you know. These assassin AP mid lane mages, we just don't really see often. We see a little bit of sprinkles here and there. Jinx, on the other hand, is going to be the champion that's get locked in, knowing that Varus is banned second time. I like this pick, Alex, not going to lie. It guarantees that late game insurance. Varus, of course, has been rising up in these bans because you can build them 3 ways. You can go lethality. If you want to poke, you can go the on hit with the Kraken Slayer, or you can go AP. You can try and go in that Nash's Tooth, Riftmaker, do whatever you want with it, and then legit basically function as a gigantic mage and gigantic burst, especially with that pass. So I like that being locked in, knowing that Varus is away. AOE, they're going to be answering with the Thresh, which is always a safe answer for sure.
But this, whenever I see the Thresh, I always want to have it paired up with something like a Jinx, or the next 2 that come to my mind, Aphelios and then Draven after that. These 2 powerful picks in the laning phase, especially into something like a Jinx, to try to see if you can hold your own, plus having that repositioning tool. I wonder what they want to grab for Short Hop. Short Hop is an aggressive player. I always love watching Short Hop because he's not afraid to play in your face, and that's even how he usually pilots Jinx. So that's why I feel like the Jinx is more of a takeaway from the bot lane, but unfortunately, for the side of Conviction, they didn't grab the Morgana immediately, which means that it's an easy pick for Josie.
So now we got to wonder what Conviction has in store against this Morgana, you know? Because not a lot of champions actually do the same things what Morgana wants to do. However, in this patch, Alex, comeback XP is a big thing in the jungle pool. So you actually don't really have to full clear. You can go Karthus if you want, but instead, we go into the Morgana Udyr matchup that we've been seeing all day in MSI. I know you're giving a sigh. We've seen it time and time again, but it's game 1, man. You got to play safe a little bit.
If you go full HP Udyr, right? I'll have some respect there.
Okay,
Because
well,
then you get through the Black Shield immediately. You can get the Bear Slam after that. You see what I'm saying? It's like this all works
Nah.
out, and you have a Braum on top of it too.
Okay.
This is easy game here, Will. Come on, you go AP Udyr, and trust me, it'll work. Don't worry
well,
about the results.
yeah, we'll see what happens in Dragon Gen. Do you want to run? We'll want to run an AP Phoenix stance Udyr, right? I mean, if it does, you don't
Hey,
really
it
have
was
magic
a
damage
thing
being
for a
go.
bit at the very
I
beginning.
mean,
of
it
Udyr.
was. It was a small tidbit, Alex. Like it ain't.
Yeah, he
it
would
ain't
rush
anything
Lich Bane, and
special.
he would be able to use Phoenix form to be able to like annihilate people, and then he just tank you after that. He's
Okay,
like,
all right. You know what? He ain't gonna go AP. I'm being honest, Alex. He ain't gonna go AP in this. We've seen Chemtake be valued way too much, even though it's gotten nerfed. Chemtake is just the way to go. So, at least they
and
have
got
some form
Ash
of
on the
engage.
other side right now too, going in for short hop. There's a
Actually-
lot of pick potential from AOE random.
I actually don't like this Ash pick, Alex, just because one, yeah, you have a long form engage, but then you don't really need that when you have Dark Binding, you have hooks already on lock. I'd rather get something that can actually match the late game carry potential of what Jinx offers. I actually would have liked a Philios here, man. You just put that Black Shield onto that Philios, you let him run rampant, you got Thresh to back him up too. Like, I actually would have loved the Aphelios being picked up right now for AoE, but instead, they're going to be locking the Ashe here. Remember, Volley's going to get nullified. Arrow can also be nullified with that Braum shield too, which is why I don't really like this pick. But we'll see if AoE can make it work.
Well, now we have the Orianna set coming in as the first two bans in the second round. The set banned from Conviction here a bit early, since we don't have any indication of what the top side matchup's going to be out of AoE randoms just yet. But to me, this might indicate that Conviction are going to go for this hyperscaling Jinx, everything to buff her up and be able to play around Jinx. Make it so that you have a nice beefy front line that doesn't have to really worry about anything, and taking away that set is a great way to enable it.
Yeah, at this point, Conviction, like you said, just banning champions that are solid bodyguards, man. Set is for sure one of them. I'd expect them to ban another tank or just ban another body.
Or
Zed being hovered, which is surprising. You know, we really see that champion be locked in a hot minute, and it's going to be that Zed. I mean, competition does have a nice Zed, though, I'm being honest. But it just means that, well, then, I mean, if we take a look at AoE, right, Alex, they banned the Orianna, they banned the Vladimir. Those are two safe champions for Ariandel and two comfortable champions for Ariandel, too, which is why I like these bans. I mean, that maybe that's what signifies the Zed being banned away, is that, yo, competition can play whatever the heck he wants. Let's just get rid of something that's super volatile that can throw the game in chaos, and I like that. But with AoE, we've seen Renekton flex around, Alex. It can go top, it can go mid, and they're making sure they're holding that flex pool.
Competition does like to be able to pretty much get that upper edge on the competition by flexing things around. Though I want to see if competition is going to bust out the classic. Maybe give us something like Echo, one of his classic picks that we've seen way back in the past. I know Echo is not really the flavor at the moment,
I mean,
but that would be a
Gwen
great
Diego.
thing to bust out in game one.
Gwen and Viega's still available though, Alex, and Gwen's gonna be locked in. This also, we have to see who's gonna be piloting this champion too later on. Once this champion's revealed, unless they're gonna be double flexing it with another solo lane, such as Viego, if they want to go for that. I mean, Lucian is technically a double flex too. It can work. So they're gonna be keeping that double flex on the table. It's gonna be on AoE side to determine who they're gonna send, who are they gonna be sending where. Now, a little bit about Gwen, Alex, is that she has one of the best level ones, because Slip and Slash do a lot of damage. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah, I've played it before. I'm just waiting until the on-hit tank top lane Gwen takes over, and people are just like, this is so annoying. I can't kill her, and she does so much damn damage. It's gonna happen, Will, and you're gonna see it, and you're gonna be like, I blame you, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take the fault on this one.
I mean, we've seen Divine Sunderer Gwen be played. We've seen, of course, Riftmaker Gwen be played. I've seen a Frostfire Gauntlet Gwen be played. She has a lot of versatility.
Gauntlet is the best one on her, in my opinion. You go with that with a Nash Restraint tank after that, and you are just disgusting.
You have to be depending on who and what you're playing against, man.
No,
you can't just make a claim like that. There's certain
played
tools
it against
and
almost
situations.
everything at this point, and it's like,
Okay,
you just don't kill her. She's just like, ha 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 ha, I'm in the middle of 5 people and I don't die.
Of course, but yeah, she also is not gonna do a lot of damage out of the way when she's in the middle. So
Have you seen that passive, man?
okay, she does a good amount of damage. She does a good amount of damage
that
compared. Okay, she does a good amount of damage, but she's not gonna be disrupting a lot. You know, that's one of the issues with Gwen. Her sticking power isn't as good unless she has ultimate. She needs Slip and Slash. Okay, I mean, if you can kill her, remember, if you went AP, you can kill a lot of them, and you don't even need that. You don't need that sticking power.
To do the same thing.
All right.
saying.
But let's take a look at the draft real quick, Alex. Because AOE right now they're putting they picked up the Victor for competition though, which means that they're going to be putting Chim in the top lane for sure. That also means that for AOE randoms they're kind of favored in the mid 2-on-2 because it's going to be real hard to walk up on Victor with Gravity Field. It's also going to be real hard to deal with them with Black Shield as well. And we've seen this matchup way too many times, man. After the first reset, or after just a couple levels, Victor can threaten that Lucian with that death ray, just laser him over and over again, push him out of the lane. So it's gonna be on Ariandel to see if he can actually get an early kill.
It's pretty much the level ones for both top and mid lane for Conviction, how they're going to be able to play this one. Because Lucian is something that can take over the lane, but like you said, it's into Victor. Probably one of the most difficult matchups for Lucian, just because of the pushing potential that Victor has. Unless you're trying to fight level 1 as this Lucian, and if you're not able to actually get something like a flash or maybe an early TP out of your opponent, the lane's pretty much forfeit at that point.
You have to do something. You have to do something before he actually resets and gets some items under his belt. That's where it gets real tough. And with Gravity Field being such a big deterrent whenever he dashes in, it's real. That's why Lucian actually has a tough time. And along with that, Victor can also influence the wave and poke you out. That's why this matchup is really annoying. Because Lucian, yeah, he can do that too as he lines up that piercing light, but Victor just has an easier time doing it, which is why that matchup is fair for him. But this is where we go into competition in Ariandel. You know, these are two of the mid laners that we've been keeping our eyes on, and along with and then with Ariandel, you know, I've seen he's played mainly control mage throughout the entire time. He's had a little bit of sprinkles of other champions here and there, but that's where I have to wonder if Ariandel is actually will actually prove us tonight in this third place match that he actually excels in this champion. We'll have to see.
It will be really interesting to see how that matchup mid lane plays, especially when you look at the junglers, since they are going to be things that we've been seeing a lot at MSI. Morgana versus Udyr, the power clearing duo right now. Who's going to be able to outclear who? And it's all about then from there how you're able to get those early ganks, right? What you're going to be able to do to impact when you're waiting out that timer before all the camps start to respawn.
One thing I will say for Conviction is that their early skirmishes is a lot better. Of course, you got Udyr, you got Lucian, and everything else. You can't gank the Victor because of Gravity Field and Black Shield, but in 2v2s, those spells don't really matter a whole lot. You know, Gravity Field, yeah, if you get them all stuck in, they stay in there, sure. But then it's not a combat spell where you can actually chunk them out, you know? So that's where, if I'm Conviction, we have the early game snowball. We have Udyr. We have better fighting power. We have Gwen on the top lane too. Let's make sure we play towards that top side. And let's make sure we actually get the ball rolling on the top half of the map. On the bottom side, you got that late game insurance, man. Let Jinx do her thing. Let her farm up, get some bananas, and then turn that into liquid money, you know?
Yes, that is going to be something that they can play around. Youngbin in the spot lane on the Jinx, but it's into an Ashe Thresh lane. And that's the one thing where, sure, might not sound like it's that threatening of a lane on the surface, but remember, Volley is going to do a lot of damage to be able to slowly chip away at the health bar of this Jinx. Plus, then you have a nice death sentence out of your Thresh to be able to see if they can get it locked down there. Plus, maybe a Flay or two. Then you call down Josie, say, Morgana, throw out a Dark Binding. Boom, they can't move and they're dead.
All right, Alex, I don't know if you watched, have you seen You Got Served, Alex?
No, I don't even know.
It's an old dance move from way back when. I'm going to quote one of the characters, Mr. Rad, who held up these dance battles in the club, and he had these teams battled out. He's going to say this one thing, man. If it don't kill you, it makes you stronger. And that's what's going to be about Youngbin, man. If the volleys ain't going to kill him, he going to get stronger. That's just simple as it is, Alex.
Well, what happens when he dies?
He ain't. I mean, we'll have to see if he does die, but it's gonna be real tough trying to actually kill him, man.
Assertions here that are a bit early, right? So it's like you're assuming that he's just going to live. We haven't seen one way or the other yet how the scales tip.
Sure, but then this matchup is not. You're not against a kill lane, Alex. You're against Ashe the rest. Yeah, you're gonna get chipped out, but then Force and Lethal is where you're taking way too many volleys. We'll have to see if those volleys are gonna be eaten up. But then, assuming that these guys are playing at the highest level they can. Jinx and Braum should be able to handshake that lane, maybe down a couple waves, but that's pretty much it.
So what happens when Chim TPs bot lane and kills them?
I mean, we'll have to, that's a different thing, man. We have to take a look at the top lane first. We're changing something else on that influence.
I mean,
we were only talking about 2v2s. We weren't talking about TP influence.
No, I wasn't. Okay? I said that they're going to call down Morgana. I've been saying that this is going to be more than a 2v2 this entire time.
If they call down backup, then we can see things happen. But remember that Conviction has the better early game. So they can't, if they want to burn things, then sure. That means they're throwing all the eggs in the basket, see if we can shut down and get some goal on the bottom side. But then, you know, if I'm AOE, we have to limit the kind of top lane advantage that they have right now. That's what I'm thinking about.
I mean, you're not wrong. You know, we'll see if they're going to be able to do that as we jump onto the Rift for game number 1 here. The 3rd place matchup, Conviction versus AOE Randoms. They have loaded up. Nothing too exciting. Everyone going for the line of scrimmage. Boo. Everyone boo them. Boo, boo, boo.
This is 3rd place finals. We can't be booing them right now.
Boo!
We cannot be booing the potential 3rd place team in the Unified Premier League, man. Come on. Got to give these guys some credit. Arendelle rocking the cleanse. I respect that a lot.
I respect fighting. Level 1 skirmishes.
Alright, man.
5v5, smash face into one another.
All this guy, all
Dragon
Alex
Jin
wants
team
is fighting, man.
respecting. Yeah, exactly. See, I like this, though. Display from Dragon, getting a nice board back there. Being like, all right,
Okay.
Josie's over here. I'm going to be able to easily recall before anything spawns and then be able to get back on the Rift.
A little curious, though. Josie did opt in for the Predator just so he can gank a little bit better, which I do like. You know, it helps you just move around the map and just stop Dragon Jindi from outpacing you when it comes to that movement speed. So I like that little option. You don't really need Dark Harvest, not going to lie. So I'm liking what AOE Rams are going for. With his early ward, though, we'll be spotting out where he's going to be starting. And it looks like it's going to be the Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors start with the
Chicken
front-end
nugs.
soils. You pretty much can have that on what... Oh, it reduces its cooldown to an absurd amount, so you pretty much can get like 3 of them on one.
Yeah. Crazy. Love that. Love
Stupid.
that ability.
Look, I respect the Morgana jungle, right? You know me and my weird picks. But
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
get
yeah.
multiple tormented soils on in one clear. It's a bit absurd, is it not?
I mean, yeah, but that's just Riot, man. They wanted this to be in lane. That's why it was good in lane. And then you're like, hey, yo, we could just do this in the jungle. Why not?
Yeah, you know what? I'm still waiting for Zed jungle to be the thing since they did buff that too.
It did. It's just that he can't full clear. That's one of the issues.
That's
with
the biggest thing with him.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
too
with-
squishy and it's
with
also,
comeback
like, takes so
XP,
long.
he actually might have a chance to come back
Oh,
in.
so
this.
it's the
So-
level the 5-minute strat then. It's the
Yeah.
good old classic where everyone stays in base for 5 minutes and see how long it takes you to catch up.
Okay, well, it's not like that,
Oh.
Alex. The one of the reasons why Zed isn't as
not
good,
play a
even
game
with
like that?
comeback XP, is that his early ganking just isn't as good compared to other early game
So I
junglers.
take it you've never done that challenge to yourself, the 5-minute.
I'm not.
No.
Nope. I'd get reported instantly if I did that challenge.
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You see how fast you can come back into the game. Then when you lose, you say
Okay.
that. Oh, sorry.
That's
I was
just
disconnected.
you're just
I'm
throwing
kidding.
chaos in the game, Alex. I don't like that. I want
when
order.
do I not throw chaos into the game?
You're always
It's
chaotic,
not what
man.
I'm about. That's literally my
always
whole
chaotic.
identity.
I know, God. I'm here trying to establish order, be like, hey,
You know?
this is how the
Okay,
game's supposed
okay,
to be.
okay, look at-
and
look
then
at-
Alex,
hold on,
and then
hold on,
Alex is
time
like,
out.
nope, we're chilling.
Respect over to Dragon Jindi. We didn't get to talk about this. Since there was the full clear top side and they knew exactly where Josie was, went immediately and cleared out this bottom side, stole away the blue buff from this Morgana who desperately needs that. It's going to really hamper the take on it to the Scuttle
Yeah.
Crab, especially with you having this pressure from mid lane. Look at this. They're already
Nice
going to be able to
bind,
call down Arendelle to try to contest
Yeah, they
the
can't
Scuttle
poke.
Crab. Josie has to completely bail because Focus was a little bit too late.
Yeah. Furious clear from Dragon Jindi. It actually works out in the end. I kind of like that because he did his full clear bot side. I said full clear into blue buff take and then just sat there and took the Scuttle. And remember, knowing that Lucian has that early lane priority for himself on the bottom side, and along with that, having Braum on the bottom lane, usually all these early skirmishes are going to be favoring yourself, like what I said about Conviction. So everything's working out. Getting double Scuttle and making sure that Josie isn't going to get a blue buff,
Ripple buff. Oof.
he's going to be starving, man.
Yeah, this Morgana is going to be
He hungry.
looking for some scraps here. You can see already pathing immediately towards those chickens as they've just spawned up, saying, you know what, I guess some quick KFC is going to have to do for now. You're not getting much else. As right now, the Still Finks was able to get a lot of damage on Jim. Didn't want to chase it any further, but it is just going to be the trade of TP for TP since the Still Finks already had backed off, recalled, came back with the amp tone.
Yeah.
Not really the most massive lead into the top lane, but getting a forced TP is going to take away that advantage I was talking about with Renekton, where you have an early TP into the bot lane play.
Yeah. I mean, you can TP. I mean, especially at 6, which is where that timer is going to happen. But this Finks is just playing one of the most absurd champions right now. Wins against almost everyone level 1 except like some off champions. You know, wins
Look
against
at
everything else as well. And then especially when Renekton wants to trade into him, she just throws up that W and she's A-OK. You know, it's a really
Yeah, well.
obnoxious champion. And along with that, picking the Oblivion Orb,
There it is. Yep.
no healing for Chim anymore too. It's gonna be real tough.
Yeah,
And he also
you're
had
not gonna do
PTA.
much here.
He went PTA. I didn't realize that. He went PTA for short trades.
And I mean, I think that's what you have to do here.
You have
into
to,
this,
yeah.
Because if you have any extended trade with Gwen's going
No,
to
you
win,
lose.
right?
Yeah, you
exactly.
straight up.
So you have to go in for that extra bit of damage. Try to see if you can get the bursts. Nice sidestep coming in from Youngbin. Even getting the zap to connect on a short hop. Nicely done to be able to stay nice and safe while his support had rotated around, trying to see if they can help out Dragon Jin. Get a little bit more
No
control. But we're
lantern.
gonna have both of the junglers here. Look at that. Morgana's not too far behind. Looking for the flash
Ooh.
in with the Winter's Bite on the puck. Gonna have a nice
Nice.
play though.
Oh.
Not gonna be able to get the bear set. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the drag back
Ooh.
coming in from the death sentence with the tanked up turret. It's gonna be first blood gifted over to Short Hop. Chasing down to the flash too. They've got Youngbin trying to flash away. They've at least got one onto Josie trying to be able to escape now. Will be taken down. The excited Youngbin trying to be able to get away, but the flash coming in from Short Hop gonna be easily able to take him down. Fox is gonna be able to get the kill credit for that one as Colin wants to get a little bit of an advantage back for the team, but it will be a 2-for-1 trade favoring the side of
Colin?
AOE. Unless, of course, we're going to have Arendelle show up into the bot lane. Jordan, he wants this trade, has the hawk
nope.
shot. Unfortunately, just going to gift over the gold and the blue buff to call in.
Yeah, but Ariel didn't manage to pick up that kill, Alex. He was like, yo, that should be mine. But then Short Hop recognized that situation. Like, you know what? I'm just going to go straight to the turret. And then because Ariel cannot get the double tap off, he actually couldn't pick up that kill at all. Look at that. Seeing 0, 0, and 0. But one thing that is going to work out for Conviction is because all these resets taking so long after that bottom skirmish, Dragon Jindy going to take himself a first dragon. Good stuff on them, right? But questions are now starting to form for us, Alex, right? Conviction, start off that play. They looked for the gank, as we said, but then one, the wave isn't there, and two, yes, your target selection is correct because Pocus does not have that flash. But then once he flays you off, you cannot be overstepping right here. You get hooked up, you take that turret shot. Even if Jazzy isn't here, you lose a kill. The only reason why we continue this point onward is because Jazzy flashed in and binded Youngbin. Good stuff on Youngbin to actually get that kill and walk away, but at the end of the day, you're still losing out.
And then we saw later on, you know, Short Hop extending further. I think that it was just knowing that Arendelle was going to be into the bot lane saying, hey, we might as well try to get the kill because he's going to be able to easily kill me even under the turret. Doesn't matter if Pocus is there to help you out or not. But either way, it is going to be relatively even between the two teams. A slight advantage for AOE Random since they were the ones to get the first kill. The still things having a bad trade there against Jim. This is kind of what we talked about though, right? Jim constantly is going to want to look for those trades where you dash in, get the stun really quick, dash out.
Real tiny stuff, though. Bottom side, they're just going to take a little bit of some trade in. Short Hop and Pocus are getting pressured under their turret, but I'm liking that Chim is forcing Distal Finks' hand of like, yo, I'm just going to take these short trades, man. You have to see if you want to call me out on taking these short trades, do so. But then Distal Finks, he has to make that adaptation real soon if he doesn't want to get chipped out like that. I like what Dragon Jindy is doing here, trying to tackle the second blue buff, but backup is around. Arendelle is around too. Competition not have TP.
They're going to try to go for the lane gank here from Colin and Youngbin. The calling down competition has a level lead. Colin taking way too much damage, trying to be able to get away with Ignite, taking on his head. Barely able to survive. Finally dies, and there we go. We got Arendelle, the play onto Youngbin. No escape there with the Chaos Orb, taking him down for Short Hop.
Man, too many mistakes of amount of resources that you got on Conviction's hands. Arendelle don't have mana to continue that fight. Youngbin wasn't able to continue that fight either way, and of course, Colin also died at the beginning part due to that Ignite. I like the idea from Conviction trying to tackle the second blue buff and get them on their side, but you have to make sure and realize the amount of resources that you have, because competition just had enough to use that Chaos Storm and to turn around that fight at the end of his combo, and it just worked out for the AOE Randoms team in this game 1.
And when you look at the replay for that play, look at the mana bar out of Arendelle. None to speak of. This Lucian's not going to be able to do too much to really
enough
help
for
out
one
this fight.
combo.
Right, and competition had a full mana bar, was able to get every combo down possible for Victor with the Chaos Storm too.
He actually didn't have full mana bar. He had a little bit. He just had enough.
Okay, I thought he had more than that. I was looking at Josie. That was my bad.
He had enough for one combo and the Chaos Storm, whereas Arendelle, he didn't have enough for the culling. That's like the most important part, is that if he had the culling there, maybe things change, but then Colin getting hooked up and then just burned away is not really good look. That's where Arendelle goes in, and Dragon Jindy's just taking that blue buff. Some miscommunications definitely occurring right now, as we see on screen from the Conviction team, but they have to rally themselves. They have to see if they can actually push themselves forward, because this is a composition that needs to win early on. right now they're fumbling a little bit, but they still have a small window of opportunity where they can find these looks off of Dragon Jindy and, of course, off of one of the most broken champions right now in the game, Distalfinks on that Gwen.
And see, this is where I do give respect over to Conviction for trying to make a play like that happen.
For sure.
They got to know their limitations. That's going to be the big thing going into these next fights, is knowing when they can actually successfully go for an invade like that and when they can't. With all these control wards that have been placed by AOE Random on the bottom half of the map, they are secure in controlling this half. You have nothing you can really touch here for Conviction, while Randoms are going to easily be able to push this lineup into the opposing jungle.
Yeah, adaptation is always so cool to see, Alex, where teams are just recognizing, yo, like, Conviction's always doing this. So let's just set up our defenses and make sure they don't do this again. And this is where Conviction has to be able to adapt the either way, because that's where you have to wonder if Conviction's like, are they going to recognize that AoE is setting up a solid defensive wards with all these controls that are littering all of River? I'm not too sure, because right now they're about to face check.
Yeah, Dragon Jindy right behind. They don't have Jinx in a position to be able to help out Colin, even with Glitch.
Oh no!
Oh no! Fail flash. Dragon Jindy flashing over the wall. Flash coming in from short up, just barely getting enough health from the smite, but now it might be the turnaround onto Youngbin, trying to be able to get away. They don't have the arrow, but they got the zap connecting, but this damage coming in from short hop. He's going to be able to go on a killing spree.
Man. This is what I was talking about, Alex. AoE immediately recognizing, yo, Conviction's always on the bottom side. Let's get here first, let's set up some vision, and let's make sure that they're not going to be approaching here. And then the time they do, they're like, wait, yo, Conviction's walking right into us. This is a golden opportunity for us to take even more of that lead for themselves. Good job on AoE to just recognize what Conviction wants to play for.
Making it so that now they are in a massive hole here at 3,500 behind, with the dragon spawning up, being an ocean dragon, going to be a nice take for AoE. Of course, Conviction are still in a position to try to contest. The calling was used by Arendelle with the blue buff on top of the solution, so you're going to have a lot more mana this time. Colin's going to be able to escape wall. It's going to be the trade mid lane. That Chaos Storm burning Arendelle, trying to be able to get away. Where is the laser?
One more laser.
Flash over the wall.
Oh, he's flashing.
Flash coming in, and he's going to be able to get the solo kill. Mid lane competition taking him down.
That's what I was talking about, that matchup, man. You try and go in aggressive, Gratifield stops before it gets that chim.
Another solo kill, another solo kill. Let's go, baby. Let's go, come on. Just need to be able to get the range. There it is, snip, snip, baby.
Cut that tail there. That's my alligator right there. Good stuff on Conviction to get that kill on the top side, but right now they're still in a little bit of a hole, Alex. Arendelle losing that solo is not a good thing to see, and that's what I want to criticize. I was like, yo, we don't really see Arendelle on that Lucian, bro. We don't really see him actually pilot this. We usually see him on the Orianna, see him on the Vladimir, we see him on more control mage champions, but for Conviction, they have to let Distalfinks do his thing at this point. He got a solo kill under the turret. He's able to just kind of run rampant. He can legit 1v5 this game, Alex. Let's see if they can get Distalfinks to do it.
That's going to be the thing, is getting this Gwen into the position to do so. Still working on that garage sale build right there. Not quite yet at the mythic item. Kind of all over the place.
Real
even
close.
With the, yeah, exactly. So close, but having the plated steel caps instead because you didn't have enough gold to be able to actually buy that Riftmaker. It's okay. You can understand what you're trying to do, but unfortunately, on the other side, Chim's been able to get the Stride Breaker. And look at this. Being able to dive right in on a Dragon Jindy with the Gravity Field as well. Josie flashing in. Soul Shackles onto 2, but only going to be able to get the root onto 1 with a nice cleanse to be able to stay alive and get another kill onto Gwen.
Yep, cutting off them Angel's Wings with Distalfinks too, and that's another kill for themselves. Remember, this is the only way, I think this is one of the only ways Conviction has a chance of going back in to let Distalfinks do his thing. And then eventually have Youngbin to see if he can actually fight him, but another 2-on-2, man.
Oh, man, I think this is going to go bad. Yep, exactly. There it is. They're going to be able to follow this all to Youngbin, try to be able to get away. Just needs one more falling, not going to be able to get it. Will be able to stay alive, but it's still one death. Colin being the sacrifice in the bot lane.
Yep, fortunate, man. They had the cleanse on lock too. Colin threw up the shield, but Kraken Slayer penetrates that shield. You get that true damage in, and it changes up the entire matchup for themselves. Now, they're going to be losing that first turret as well. AoE Random, of course, going to be picking that up. They have to back away, though, and just look to recalibrate. But right now, we're going to be seeing some action on the top side because we've got 2 people trying to answer Distalfinks.
Can you do this? Can you turn around?
He has no ultimate.
2-4-1 here. Does have a max range on the snip, trying to be able to get a lot of damage coming back in. But unfortunately, you can see what happens when other people are in your zone. It's so difficult to be able to get away. Wants to be able to dash over the wall. Will be able to do it, but followed up by Chim. Trying to get the damage back in. Will the Conqueror be able to get you enough health? It will! Killing spree coming in from Distalfinks, being able to get over the wall as well.
My God, you get that tail. Let me just take a leg off that too. Distal Finks making sure he's playing that Gwen to his maximum. And that's what I was talking about, man. This champion, when you got that snip, 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 you're gonna cut everyone that's in front of your face.
Conqueror as well to get all that health back you need. Now with the Rift Maker completed, this Gwen even better in that position you were talking about, being the 1v5 goddess in the top lane. Easily is going to be able to accomplish it against Chim.
They have to figure out some way to answer this too.
Oh no!
Oh,
I think Josie got it, yeah, smite.
yeah, Josie did get it. Okay, my crap today. Gotta go to Red Lobster.
I haven't been to Red Lobster in years. But you know what?
I haven't been, but them crab puffs though. Those crab biscuits.
I mean, Josie definitely going down for that. Had to take the Lantern to get it away from that Salt Distal Finks, and now that's what they're going to fear. They're going to fear.
So, one thing I gotta say, Alex, is that when you're playing around Distal Finks, you have to make sure does she got that needlework online. If she do, you can't be team fighting against that character, man. She's way too strong with needleworks. And then if she ain't, then you have to figure out a way to deal with this split push. Right now, though, Conviction forcing the issue with this Rift Herald, but remember, that's one needleworks being burned actually. Distal Finks burn the first one. He has to even get the second one
going to be able to get
on lock.
Rift Herald. Trying to see if they can at least burn this down. Going to be able to get the slow onto Jazzy. Getting a lot of damage.
The other one!
You cannot survive against this Gwen. Still in the middle of everyone. Trying to be able to heal back up. Going to be able to have the body block coming in from Colin as Youngbin. Trying to go into the back line. You got to be careful. Short Op was able to get a huge shutdown. Takes two with them in the grave.
All right, good stuff from Conviction, picking up more kills. 2 for 1, 2 for 3 trade. Competition wants to see if he can push the pressure on.
You gotta be careful of that gravity well. Youngbin, the blast code doesn't save you. It's a death sentence coming in from Pocket.
Y'all wanted too much, Conviction. Y'all had to back away, but Competition making sure the fight continues onward, especially with that Trad Baker from Chimp 2 and that hook from Pocus securing 2 more, man. It was looking good for him, and it was looking good off Distal Finks. But the moment you saw what happened, the moment he falls away, it's so much harder to team fight if I'm Conviction, because needlework facilitates so much area of effect. That W facilitates so much of that choking ability, and this is where Short Hop having the balls to flash in front of 3 people and be like, you know what? I need to make sure I get that shutdown goal. I need to make sure Distal Finks gets tackled mentally so he ain't feeling too good. And I like that little play that what Short Hops did. But this is on the back end where you see Ariandel getting caught out and then the hook off the blast cone. That hook.
That was beautiful, and this gives a massive lead again back to AOE randoms, but taking a little bit of that off of Distal Finks. That's what they have to keep doing. They have to make sure this Gwen is not going to continue out of control. Being able to at least slow down the pace a bit is going to be nice, but it's not like she's fully out of the woodworks yet. She still is aggressive. Look at this. This thing's going right to the middle of them. They're going to be able to get but that damage from the snip. Jazzy barely alive, and now Arendelle in the backline trying to be able to fight against Competition. The calling come out, but canceled by the Chaos Storm. You'll always forget about that. Rift Herald has been popped, but now they're trapped. Look at the arrow. Distal Finks flashed away to be able to survive. The flash coming in from Competition. They got the kill for Jazzy, and now they're going to be able to pull back in Dragon Jindy for another kill. They only lose Competition, but I don't think it matters a damn. Look at the health bars. Look at how low the flash in with the nice use of the Call of the Meek. Taking 2 with them. Another double kill for AOE randoms.
This is where I was about to mention, Alex, that Conviction. When you play with Gwen in this competition, you don't work well against all these champions when you running straight in front of their face, man. You got to deal with the volley. You got to deal with the hooks. You got to deal with the dark binding. You got to deal with the gravity field. It is not a good way to play Gwen. Even though, yes, you're strong. Even though, yes, you can win straight up 1-on-5. You can't be walking in front of them. You can't be like God and trying to be like Thanos snapping all 5 here because you're not like that right now. Conviction need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how they want to use this Gwen that can win them the game. But at this point, Alex, 19 minutes in, they're down 4K. Distal Finks is in a hard situation because of that fight.
Well, look at the gold put back onto Chim with those last 2 fights. What was it, 0-2 not too long ago? Now 4-2-1 on this Renekton. With that Stride Breaker, still has a lot of gold probably left in the pockets. Might be able to even get a Sterix gauge on this next back.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Gwen can call herself the Crocodile Hunter, because this is going to be real tough, man. Knowing that the allocation, also they're changing this allocation up where they're putting Competition on the top side because he has range and that gravity field, it just makes sure that Distal Finks can't really touch him. I like this little swap of what AoE is doing, and throughout this entire game, AoE have just been adapting to what Conviction has been going for. You know, oh, they want to maintain that one on? Well, let's just change up the matchup. Let's just put Victor on that top side, because the only way Distal Finks can get on is if he has that Needleworks, and even then it's still hard to get on. You know, and then from there, you know, from that vision on the bottom side, calling him out on where Conviction wants to be at, AoE's right now just on top of the board when it comes to watching the movement.
Should we get to see most of the mythics have now been completed by both teams, only call in falling short. But as opposed to getting our normal Udyr build, we get the Frostfire Gauntlet out of Dragon Jindy for more slow potential to help out the team. But Youngbin, bad trade there against Short Hop. That was just one use of Q pretty much there to be able to whittle down Youngbin before he could do much.
I'm actually curious why Frostfire Gauntlet is the build now. I've been seeing it pop up so much, right? I've been seeing this build going, knowing that even though Chemtech has been nerfed, they don't want the active anymore. They're just like, you know what, let's get the better base stats, let's just get the unique passive that you have off that mythic, and you can be a little bit beefier overall. But remember that when you get stunned up, you're also under that slow, so the crowd control that you have on when you walk up to him overlaps. That's one thing that doesn't work out when it comes to Udyr overall, outside of just walking up and maintaining that perma slow. You know, yes, you can do that for sure, but that first slow isn't really going to change a lot, and that's where Chemtech, I like that a little bit more.
Yeah, it does make it a little easier and a little bit more consistent to be able to engage these fights, but it could be the fact that they're pretty much expecting Chim to have to play into them, and that's what they want to be able to do, is get that slow field around that. Or, look, if you look at the rest of AoE randoms, right, they don't have the most mobile composition, do they?
You're not wrong.
This composition is going to be one that has to kind of set themselves up in a choke point to be able to play around that, because they're not going to be able to move too fast. So maybe that's the idea coming in from Dragon Jindy. But everyone else, when we look at what they've built, pretty standard. They have that Stride Breaker I already talked about from Jim, but double Anguish on the other side for both Josie and Competition. Going to really be able to make quick work out of the fairly squishy side of Conviction, since there's a lot more armor for Dragon Jindy at this moment.
That's what I gotta wonder for Conviction, you know, how do they find that engage? You know, if Dragon Jindy is gonna get walking up, again, same thing as the argument as Gwen, right? You can't just be walking up straight up in their face, because you have to deal with all those damn projectiles that's gonna be stopping you. So that's where I gotta wonder how they're gonna do it. I mean, they found Short Hop.
Short Hop, nicely done. Short Hop was like, I can kill this Braum, right? Not realizing Arendelle was on the other side, and even if they're not in the same lane, Braum Lucian is a volatile and a very scary competition.
He was just by himself, though, Alex. You know, you got Short Hop be like, yo, I'm a queen. I got this by myself, guys. And then it's like, bruh, you can't be in the middle of the river by yourself when you don't got backup. Yeah, you strong, but you're also still an 80 carry that can still get taken down real soon and real simple. So Conviction getting a little bit of a chance to breathe, and along with that, getting that topside river for themselves. That's the most important part for them, of just making sure that AoE randoms cannot threaten this Baron.
Nor can they even threaten the dragon that's going to be spawning up in about 40 seconds. Look at this vision line that has come in from Conviction. Despite being down in gold, they're the ones with the control of river, both bot and top side for the most part.
However, we look at the inventory too, though, is that when this dragon comes up, Conviction aren't going to have wards on lock to actually play this vision game. Whereas we take a look at AoE randoms, they do got some control wards sitting in their pockets, so they can play on that bottom side. This is where the vision war is real interesting to see, is how much, you know, people caring on their knapsack when it comes to that vision game. Otherwise, you just fight over mid lane priority, and so that's always a time to do so. But without all this vision, they're not going to be able to do it. And this is where Conviction, I like that they're actually moving first, straight up, and actually starting this dragon.
I was about to say, it doesn't matter if you have the control wards if you just start up the damn dragon first, but it's going to be the fight attempted here. It's going to be the smite control. Nice use of that zone to be able to get away. They're going to sacrifice Dragon Jindy here. I think that is a respectful call here.
Wait.
That, but with that TP, you're right. That is going to be a Baron call coming in. No jungler available.
No jungler, man. I see AoE. They're like, you know what? We're taking out Dragon Ninja. We got 30 seconds on this. We can take it down because Competition, Jazzy, all these damage dealers can take it down real soon. Conviction, they have a little sneaky ward right around the corner of the wall. They have to see if they can get it through because Disselfinks does have that TP, but it's burning fast. It's already at 5K,
damage
Alex.
Onto Arendelle coming in for Competition, getting the kill onto Lucian right under the nose of Conviction, who are now not in a position to be able to get rid of that Baron buff on top of the heads of all 5 members of Randoms.
Conviction had no idea what they want to do with it. They're like, they're not going to do this, Baron. They're not going to try and, threaten this, but then they did. And that's what I was talking about, man. You got so much damage that you could take you down so damn fast. And now Conviction, even though they won that Dragon game, they prevented AOE from getting Soul Point. You just gave them Baron right on the table. And for AOE, I'm happy about that.
To me, is competition and his positioning there. Because you would expect
Oh,
the Victor
insane, yeah.
to be on top of the Baron. Your mindset is not thinking that he's going to be the one protecting. You think that maybe Chim is going to be the one, right? That's who you'd probably have peeled back. But the fact that it was competition meant when Arendelle stepped up too far, it was the easiest 1v1. A 3-level discrepancy between the two.
This matchup is so unplayable for Lucian at this point, Alex. It's so tough. That's what I was talking about, man. You cannot walk up on this Victor with the items that you have. Well, just based on the kit that you have, you have to try and cull him away, and hopefully he doesn't Chaos Storm you right in the face to deny that culling and cancel it out. But let's take a step back, because right now, Conviction, they haven't really been playing around Distant Finks. Yeah, Distant Finks has been split pushing majority of the time now. That was their adaptation, instead of forcing Distant Finks to fight over and over again. But the other way you can do it is making sure that Distant Finks
Crocodile
can
Hunters,
flank.
look at this from Conviction, trying to see if they can set
Okay.
up the trap, but he's slippery. He's got the death roll coming in, the
Yeah.
TP in behind. Still thinks not going to be able to engage. Instead, it's going to be the Lantern back in to make it so Chim still is threatening. They have the push down mid. They can threaten this tier 2.
And what's more important is that Distant Finks does not have that teleport to threaten any sort of split push or flank on his side. Hook comes through, but
It'll
they're
work
not
out
going to be able
too.
to take it down.
They're using a lot right now, trying to hold on to this turret, but look at how much damage comes in from that empowered cannon minion. Colin stepping up forward. Pocus, though, is doing a great job at zoning away. Just this Thresh alone is enough to make it so Conviction can't step up, they can't stay where they want, and they have to forfeit this turret.
They need to find flanks, Alex, and that's one thing that Conviction is not realizing with their composition. Send Dragon Gingy on a flank, make him flash in, not have Distant Finks trying to fight up in a 1 versus 2, because that's a W being burned. Once Distant Finks doesn't have W, it's a lot easier to deal with the Gwen. You can throw hooks, you can throw arrows at her, and then try and see if you can actually pick her away. But that's what Conviction isn't doing right now, and they're suffering because of that.
They have to wait out this huge cannon minion. Look at how much damage it's getting out onto the turret. Unfortunately, the arrow did not connect, but the Dark Binding did. They have at least a little bit of damage back onto Distal Finks and onto Colin, trying to see if they can make the play, but they just couldn't actually get anything. Instead, they get the turret, and Arendelle again has to worry about competition. Here comes the Colin getting a little bit of damage, but they've lost Braum the entire while that was going on.
My God, man. AOE randoms are just picking apart Conviction right now, Alex. And this is really a good siege from their entire awareness. They actually get the hook, too!
Look at this. Distal Finks trying damnedly to be able to get this fight going. Josie has to go golden to be able to survive it. They got the kill onto Gwen. No 1v5 potential. Josie pulled back in and does not get the kill. Only Arendelle being the sole survivor again into the worst matchup he could possibly face. A double kill for Short Hop to end out this game 1 of the 3rd place match.
Randoms are just looking way too clean right now, Alex, in the way they want to fight and the way they are reading Conviction and their movement. That's one thing I have to highlight in this game, is that they are just calling out what Conviction's game plan is going to be. Yeah, you caught me off guard once, you ain't going to do it again, bro, and that's the entire game plan of AOE randoms so far. Now, if I'm Conviction, I need to figure out some more plays in my back pocket.
Pretty much we can boil it all down to that one play when they were the ones trying to invade, but it all went awry, and like you said, Arendelle was just not able to get ahead enough of this Victor, who eventually just automatically wins anytime they step up against one another. It was a rough match for Conviction, definitely, but there are definitely, I think, some options for them to be able to kind of draw back in, especially after looking at this game.
I would have loved for them to play towards that top side, man. We saw Distal Finks solo kill Chim by himself. And I think that if you just play toward that top side, if you play towards Gwen's level 1, where she can actually just not have Renekton influence the first wave, set up a wave 3, or just make sure you just lose that entire wave itself, you actually get Chim out of the game, man, by making him lose 3 waves or forcing him to TP or just losing resources. Just because your champion could do something better at that level 1 changes a lot, and I really wish Conviction would have abused that.
As do I, but we'll have to see if they can do that in game 2. For now, we're going to toss it off to a break. When we come back, it will be our desk with a surprise face as the host. So stick around to find out who that is.
तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी
Hello, look who's the guest now. From play-by-play to host now, I have taken the role and I have pushed over Ravi. He is now going to be the analyst for this one. I'm your host here with the most, the Omewrecker salesman himself. It's me, Mad Magical, joined by Ravishing Ravish and Best Rex. And Eric's looking over there all confused because he knew I was going to say that. And no, we're not going to focus on that for too long. Instead, we're going to focus on the series at hand, the third place matchup with a pretty convincing game one coming in from AOE Random. So I'm going to toss it over to you two. Tell me about that game. What did you think?
You know what? That was a pretty interesting game to see fall through. Mostly on conviction side, I like the ambition they had to try and commit to a lot of these plays, but the execution was just not there. They wanted to drive the momentum. They were in the driver's seat for a lot of this, but as you see right there, they go forward, they try and make a play happen, but they keep paying for it. And a lot of those early engages that we saw came from conviction. And that is where AOE were able to find a lot of their advantages, capitalizing on the misutilizations that were coming out of conviction.
I like that word you use a lot here, Eric, is misutilizations, right? Kind of overstepping the bounds sometimes, and essentially just being overzealous in the essential breakdown of the plays you see come through all through the entire early game, which also allowed, like Short Hop to become 4-1 in 12 minutes, and then effectively by that point you're thinking, do Conviction come back from this? The answer, Alex, was no.
See, you answered my question. I was just about to ask. I was just going to be like, Ravish, what about you? And honestly, it really boils down to, I think, this fight right here, where we see them try to step up, but unfortunately, it just was a little overzealous.
Yeah, it was extremely ambitious. I mean, the draft that we saw come out from AOE does very well in these types of situations where you're able to find pick. And it was something that Chilling Walk was harping on, was Arendelle going in. No, actually, I think that was you, Magical, who's harping on Arendelle going in with pretty much zero mana into that fight. Really, Conviction were just not ready for that fight, but they still fought like they wanted to take it, like they wanted to make those forward plays. But you have to pick when is the most opportune time to go for something like that.
And sometimes it's just not the best time to go for it. And for you, Ravish, I mean, when we look at that play and we look at the next play that's going to come in, what were your thoughts on what maybe Conviction could have done in those positions to maybe have won?
So one of the biggest things for me too is you saw as the map was breaking down, really focusing on the main pain points that they had, right? Which was putting the resources more so around Dragon Jindy, because at that point, Short Up had already taken over the bot side. You knew Lucian was not winning this lane, so you seeing that, okay, yo, right now, like my man, Shorty Gwen is killing it, bro. She's already like up in CS. She's almost solo killing Chim. So you want to make sure that you can focus in on her. Because look at this right now. Like Chim is taking down Solo Bolo. This is one of two. So nonetheless, Alex. So I'm thinking, yo, forget my under lanes. Let y'all play weak side farm whatever you can. I'm gonna go hit at my top side. Say what's good to Gwen. You adapt her one time or twice and let her get fed, because she becomes the unkillable demon queen, so to say, and the conviction of way back into the game.
Yeah, it was definitely, I would say, rough, but I also do want to give some praise over to who we would easily consider the highlight player in that game, and that was Pocus. Pocus was an absolute terror on that thresh. I just think to that blast cone attempted to be able to get away, where he just grabs him right out of midair and says, "Nope, get over here."
Yeah, Pocus is just an absolute beast when it came to dealing with a lot of the zone control and quite a bit of these fights. As you can see right here, he's showing up with low health in this latest clip
Here it
that we're
is.
pulling up. But really, just that control that he was able to bring in, that kill right there, everything looked great. The death sentences coming in left and right. But you have to look at where that all started off. I mean, this was death sentences focusing on Distel, someone who is terrorizing AoE. Pocus is able to shut him down with a lot of that zone control, with the flays, with the death sentences. Once you stopped him, that was all the gold that Conviction had, and Pocus, he did a fantastic job.
Biggest thing from that too was was that like just a little bit before that short hop actually kind of saved that fight because that fight was like all Conviction, but my man Flash in got a double and actually got the shutdown onto Gwen as well. Because if Gwen stays alive, like you mentioned, like this Sphinx is like they're still waiting terror. That fight's all Conviction. That's the way back end of the game. But because short hop was almost, I think, was around 5-1 already, so absolutely disgusting. And because there's so many people, and the arrows did genuinely hurt, right? So you saw just how forward AOE is playing the entire time. That they were not afraid to scrap, bro. Gloves were off. They're ready to go.
Well, we'll have to see if those gloves are going to be still there to be able to battle it out. We're going to give it over to our casters and let them take over game 2. So let's get right into it. Take it away, boys.
Yeah, what is going on, everyone? We got a little change here, too. I'm rocking the play-by-play now. Get Alex out of here because I want to be my boy Nathaniel Beatdown Boulevard, because right now we have to see if AOE Rams is going to be giving Conviction a beatdown, or are they going to be fighting back?
That's right, and that's the big question here. Will all of our predictions from the whole desk, we all thought the same thing here. Yeah, just everybody on this cast thought we were expecting 3-0. I think things were really competitive from draft and even in the early stages of the game for Conviction. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I don't really have a particular thing going in the draft for game 2 that I want to see go differently for Conviction. At the end of the day, it's going to be how they execute it in game. Like, why are we fighting in the bot side river when they have Morgana, Ashe, Thresh, Renekton? Don't do that.
Whoever
Everyone has CC of some kind. Like, you don't need to be fighting in their jungle. Just don't do that.
That's something that we've been harping on for Conviction, but that's where I got to wonder if AOE randoms want to throw something else differently, because they have the agency to change up the draft, and I'm actually curious to see what side they're gonna be choosing on. Because remember, I brought up that red side ain't too hot because you got so many OPs you got to ban, but actually, I'm getting word from a producer that they are going to play on the same sides. Beatdown. We might just get an MSG run back.
It's very possible. We'll have to see. I think, interestingly enough, I wouldn't be too surprised if I see Conviction ban that Ashe out. I think, personally, pretty underutilized pick. Really strong answer into champions like the Jinx. And we saw, just in that 2v2, they were running it down there between Short Hop and Pocus. And by not the usual term running it, like they were running the show is what I'm trying to say. They were playing very well down there with the Ashe Thresh. And I expect that's something that's probably going to be taken off the board as well. So now, like you said, they're probably going to have to switch things up on the side of AOE randoms.
Yeah, now I'm real curious because first pick was the Jinx. If they want to change up the bans again, or also put different value on that first pick, they definitely have the chance to do so. They can't lock that Gwen early on. Remember, we're so used to seeing Gwen and Viego like be picked real early on. This is like one of those rare games where we see Gwen be picked like second rotation all the way through. As we already hop into the pick and bans beatdown, we'll have to see what these bans are going to be coming out for Conviction when starting off.
And just a reminder for everybody here, AOE randoms, if you're just joining us, have taken game 1. Conviction have not quite found the success they're looking for so far. This is a best of 5 here in this third place match here, UPL, and we'll see if Conviction are going to actually be able to show us something a little bit different going into game 2. I think so far, though, I am going to be curious to see how they like to draft around this time around. What are they going to prioritize this time around? Will it still be something like the Jinx? Maybe if Rumble is left up, because he actually might have been during game 1, maybe it's something they grab for themselves there.
Ban, I think it was banned from AOE side. Third ban, that's what it was. So
good ban.
We'll see if they can ban it again, yeah. But at least it's the same thing. So everything's falling into place. We're going to get the same sequel. So far, so good. Okay. All right, Conviction, what y'all going to throw? I want to see different things, man.
What do you want to see? Do you want to see like no, don't even tell me. Don't even tell me. I'm going to guess. You want to see Lulu jungle. That's what you want to see.
Okay. Well, that's
Come on.
Something now.
Is that not spicy, Will?
This is not a magical play-by-play beatdown.
Are
that's
you not?
like,
Are you not entertained?
I'm entertained, but I have to deal with a crazy play. I don't need to deal with a crazy color beatdown. You gotta give me like good picks that we don't see, not weird random picks. Okay, Lulu Jungle is not something I don't want to see.
Listen, I'm sorry to inform you, Will, but you've already signed the waiver, and you got your crazy color here. So I gotta do my best to fill magical shoes.
Oh yo. You know, we got Hayaz in Hmong. We say oh yo. That's basically my oh no, man. One thing that is different though, beatdown, is that we do have the Thresh being banned away, as you know, the deaths that say that Pocus was kind of hard smurfing on that champion, especially with them hooks. So I like that takeaway. Does mean that Barris is on the table though. Oh, never mind. It's all gone.
Hey, you were right up until that point. Still definitely was on the table there, but it's something they just want to take away for themselves too. And now we're just gonna see what AOE randoms are gonna ban lastly going into the picks. So far, Rumble is on the table, but if it's like last game, like we were told, it is going to be this ban here on 3 for AOE randoms. And that makes me wonder what conviction are going to go for here. Yeah, it is going to be the Rumble. Is it going to be is it going to be maybe Morgana? Are you going to go for this handshake here? Maybe someone will play Diana. I would really love that.
Yeah, I know you and Alex are big fans of Diana. For me, I'm not too big of a fan just because, well, I like it. It's a good pick, but then you just got to, it's like a combo chain. Once you pick it up, you can't just leave. It's not a good chain by itself. You have to like pick things to double down on, like the Diana Yasuo that we saw from RNG. That was real good.
Oh,
we ain't seen that today, though. Today. I was going to say, Alex, I got to beat Nathaniel. We got the Jinx locked in again for conviction.
We do, so it's looking like they do want to continue that priority. And worth noting, Tom Kench is still on the table if that's a lane they want to run for themselves, too, because Thresh is out. So now it's going to see what AOE Random is going to prioritize for themselves here. They could take it away realistically, but with Varus off of the table. Actually, Senna is still in discussion. Ashe is going to be what they go with again. Short Hop played really well in game 1, so you're going to run it back in game 2.
Yeah, if you want to run back another thing, they did lock in Morgana for Josie in the second rotation, so they can do that. They still have Diana for the Wombo combo instead. Lulu, which is
Lulu.
All right, they heard you beat down there. They're like, you know what? Do we want to give Josie a Lulu jungle? And I'm like, ugh. I don't want to see it, dog. Incon, I know you in chat and everything. I know you listen to us. Don't be picking Lulu jungle, dog. You know that's troll. You know that's troll.
Yeah, but Incon also knows that Lulu is dummy busted right now, so it's not exactly the worst pick in the world. But not in the jungle. I'm not saying in the jungle, but it is going to be the Morgana jungle. It is going to be the run back for Josie, like you said, Will. And I mean, all things considered, this is not a bad start for them because again, it's already the start of a lot of pick potential for AOE Random's composition, much like we saw in game 1.
Everything's looking the same. The only now conviction throwing a little bit of a change here, picking the Gwen earlier on, knowing that more than likely it's probably going to be banned second rotation because it was doing a lot of damage in that first game. So pick that champion early. One thing I do like to see, and one thing I would want to see, is Sejuani be picked up when you're pairing up with Gwen. Man, you got mad auto attacks. Her weakness is stick and power, and with comeback EXP in the game, and Sejuani being low econ, she'll be fine. I would like Sejuani here, man.
Oh, and I was actually kind of hoping that, because Conviction have played Gwen in the jungle too, so I was wondering if they were going to flex that, but instead they are just going to grab the Udyr for themselves again. So far it's starting to seem like the salty run back sans Thresh, and I think that's fine. I was even talking about how both on and off the broadcast in game 1, how Conviction, they have a pretty solid draft. It was just about how they played it during game 1. So now they're just going to run it again. They learned from their mistakes, and now Lulu will be locked in. There you go, Will.
All right. So Lulu's going to be locked in. I assume this is going to be an answer to the Gwen. I've been talking to a lot of other coaches and like good counter picks into it. One thing that Gwen has, that's majority across the board, is that she has a devastating level 1. Because of that, it's real hard to just kind of straight up fight her. Lulu, I could see her kind of handling her own that level 1 because Glitter Lance stops her from slipping and splashing all over the top lane. So kind of like this little change of what Random's doing. But you can still set up for that dive, which is what I want to see Conviction do if they want to play towards Distal Finks.
That's right, and you do need that CC to support the Gwen. Really, the only kind of CC she has is soft with the slow from Needlework. So yeah, being able to give her that setup, especially with how strong Distal Finks was in game 1, might be really beneficial for them here. I like the idea you're hitting me with Lulu going into the top lane too, and of course being picked this early does mean you're not 100% where she's going to go, because that is absolutely a valid option. Though randoms are banning out other supports here. You see the Nautilus taken away. That does kind of give me a bit of a hint that it's going to be Lulu support, but we'll see.
That is going to be the Oriana. Again, away from Ariandel, one of his more comfortable champions in the mid lane. Does mean that Vladimir is on the table. So if they want Ariandel on the Vladimir, it'll be a good thing for him. So Viego's on the table too. But remember, like, imagine, if you pick Viego there and you imagine that Sejuani, ooh, chef's kiss, baby.
Do they play it though? That's the question here.
Ariandel did play it. He did play it last week, so it wasn't a pretty solid performance overall. But then you just need things to support. And right now, I don't think Conviction has the abilities to support those double duelists. You know.
That is a good point. I mean, having Nautilus would have been nice for them here, but there are still others supports they could potentially play too. Maybe Alistar, for instance, you could try and go in and set up plays there, but it would be really tough into Lulu as well because, well, Whimsy is a very fun ability.
Yeah. Let me just turn you into a. Let me just polymorph you into a sheep real quick, like in Hearthstone. I'm down for that.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Drop's gonna pick the. Yeah, it's gonna be an Akali.
Okay.
You used to play this a lot, beat down.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you used to play. Yeah, you love this champion.
I still do, but like I'm really bad at it. Like, dude, I first started playing Akali because I started playing this game like a year ago when she got the rework, when her W Shroud would protect her from turrets. That's the only reason I found success on that champion early on. It's just she wasn't fair.
Because she was broken. That's what it was.
Busted.
All right. Still though, AOE randoms have technically a triple flex going on with Morgana, Lulu, and Akali. That can be flexed in multiple situations. Conviction now picking the Karma, which is also flex, but it's going to reveal where they're going to go unless they want to hide all their flexes. So we'll have to wait and see in these next couple seconds here.
Okay, Silas is interesting. You talk about CC and trying to facilitate dive. I think that actually does end up fitting the bill pretty well there. And you got a couple decent ultimates to steal as well there. So I actually think that's pretty solid there from Conviction. And it's probably going to be, or actually it's pretty much certainly going to be Karma in the bot lane. And I think that's because you're expecting Lulu to go bot as well. And that ends up working out pretty fine because you can kind of match the poke. In fact, I think Karma will poke better and offer a little bit more for the team when it comes to things like shielding and stuff like that. Was that a Yone?
That is a Yone, okay.
Yone top? Right. No, Akali top.
No. Yeah, Conviction was trying to call out where this Akali is going to go, and that's why Silas is a good matchup into it. But then Yone is a good matchup into Silas. So now we have a game of cat and mouse. Beat down. Who's going to master what? Because if Distal Finks wants to rock Gwen, he ideally. Oh, I mean, Gwen beats against both. Gwen's against both. Let's be the honest, level 1. The question is where the Silas is going to be matched into. That's where Conviction has to get the right matchup for themselves. Whereas AOE, whoever's in the Gwen's going to lose, but they want the Yone into the Silas.
I would imagine Akali is going to be going into Chim's hands. I'm pretty certain he's played it in the past, and the reason I think so is because. As long as you're not looking to scrap it out, which you will absolutely lose, like you said, I think your whole goal is to just farm and safely get out of laning phase there, especially when very lately people run Ignite TP and for Akali, and it's more for later on when you're going for those assassinations, trying to get in, trying to get out. So I think that's where I'm expecting things to go here, and plus this mid lane matchup for Yone is pretty nice because at least he's going to be able to kind of go for these extended trades a little better than Silas might be able to.
All right. And as we see right across the screen, guys, Chim is going to be the one rocking Akali again. We could see some role swaps. We could see Ariandel go into the top lane and deal with Chim. This is all that rock, paper, scissors, man. Who's you doing rock? You doing paper? You doing scissor? It's whatever's going to be. I mean, Conviction already has scissors right there. So
I thought that's true. So and I don't see Malphite on AOE random. So I think we know who won.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Conviction, of course, having one of the more broken champions in the game right now. By the way, I was talking to ADFX about like, what champions beat Gwen level 1, dog? Like, let's think about this.
What does beat Gwen level 1?
I'm like, yo, no cap. I was like, no cap. Olaf, Tryndamere, Teemo. I want to say Teemo is level 1, but the Teemo has like a good matchup later on because of blind and shrooms and stuff. And he was like,
that's really true, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, those all are correct, but Gwen's still out to scale. I'm like, yeah, but that's just the case. You just have to choose something that just can't outscale it. It's like, what are you gonna do? I was giving a solution like, and his solution was, my solution was just to ban it. It's just too good.
I mean, low key, he's He's not wrong in that
He's not
scenario.
wrong.
You really can't. It's really dangerous with those champions where
Yeah.
because of that very reasoning right there, or how she outscales. If you don't make something happen in the early game, if you don't, especially in this context, try and kneecap distal things in the early game, jungle attention, roams, whatever the case may be, to really try and shut it down, you are going to run into a problem later on into the game. But the big thing is still here for Conviction is they got to clean up the team fighting just a little bit here, because we weren't really seeing it in that first game. And no matter how strong distal things got, no matter how much he scaled, if his team is falling behind and can't really facilitate all that damage coming through, it's not going to matter.
He's correct, 100%. Just have to make sure you execute. And again, you're playing against composition that you cannot be walking into them front to back. You know, you got the Akali, you got the Morgana, you got the Ash Arrow. Like, Distal Sphinx is gonna have a tougher time going in, especially when Akali and Yone is gonna be all up on her butt. So we'll see what Distal Sphinx can do. Personally, for me, look for those flanks. Stay a dedicated split pusher. Make sure you're playing into the Akali, because you play. Well, actually, you're okay in both. It just all depends on if you can dodge out that ultimate. You know.
Yeah, that's absolutely going to be the big one there.
Yeah.
And I mean, realistically, I think part of what might become an issue is, it's like you said, you can't really 1v1 as Akali into Gwen, or really anybody. So I'm really curious to see if we do see Josie commit a lot of time to the top side of the map there. Just one good dark binding, once, of course, the W is out of the way. The Hallowed
Once you
Mist.
get in the circle. Yeah,
Yes, once you get in the circle, or once it's on cooldown, then you can make a play happen. Then you can knock him out, force him to lose gold, CS, everything.
All right, we'll see what happens, man. AOE randoms, they up a game. Conviction have to see if they can come back in the second game as well. Still excited to see how well this game plays out, and it's been a while since we commentated. Beat, I'm being honest.
Dude, I know. I don't even know. It was a tournament we did with K-Tad, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like
where you had
way
like the
back when.
greatest clip ever. Where what was that guy's name? Cryan is still alive.
Yo, this guy was playing. This guy was playing
Hecarim. He was playing Hecarim before Tank Hecarim was a thing.
Yeah, he was playing. He still had chem tank and everything. He got not even get He got like a chem tank, and he had like Oh, does he play Sunder? He had Sunder. That's what it was.
Yeah, this was before Tank Hecarim was big.
Yeah, he had Sunder and everything, and he was like snowballing. I'm like, dude, this guy is unkillable. He was literally in the middle of 5 players and dropped like 10 HP, and he's still freaking alive, man. My God.
Dude, yeah, it helps when you have a Yumi in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting. And now, look how the times change, Will. Hecarim sucks now.
Thank God.
I mean, low key, I agree with you.
Thank God, man.
I was really tired of seeing him.
Udyr was like whatever too. I was.
Yo, I hate. Yo, if I could if I could be real for just a second, just a millisecond, Will. I hate Udyr. This champ disgusts me. It is. I hate that it's good. I want it to be bad, so bad, more than I need air. Will. I hate this champion.
You sound like Smash players when like you figure out what they main. It's like, oh, you main this guy. Hate your character, but you're a good guy though. You're a cool player. I just hate your character.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, this is like you're trying to win. You're trying to win money and all that kind of stuff. I will not judge you for playing Udyr because he's good. Fine, but I will judge Riot heavily for him being good.
All right. Well, a minute in now for on both these teams. Conviction doing their same level 1, man. Setting up on the Raptors. Distal Sphinx slipping and splashing towards the Raptor bush. Not gonna get anything though, so just a small little ward.
Yeah, no, a little bit of a poke there onto Josie. Ultimately, yeah, it's not going to amount to too much here. And because it's going to be a Raptor start, that ward is going to tell everyone on Conviction where Josie is going to be, and tracking him is going to be pretty important too. You know he's going to go top to bottom. However, Dragon Jindy has actually kept his location quite secret. So this is going to be pretty important here in the early stages of the game, where Conviction can look to make a play off of that early, especially if an opportunity presents itself in the bot lane come that roughly 3-minute, 30-second mark there after the Scuttle Crab. That could be a really good start to this game for Conviction.
We also do want to know too, Beatdown, is that Distal Sphinx is in the top lane against Chim. So Ariandel is going to be in a tough matchup. We saw a little bit of the trading that happened in the early level 1-2 competition, and the champion that he's wielding is just better when it comes to a smaller trade. So So right now, AOE Random's getting the better side of these solo lane matchups. We'll have to see if Distal Sphinx can do this, but taking a look at the jungle clear, Dragon Jindy is paddling down to the bottom side. He's not playing towards Distal Sphinx, which I personally want to change, where you set up a dive or you just make sure Chim doesn't get farmed.
I somewhat agree with you. I think that the top to bottom start is just simply to support your bot lane. You can see they're getting the push there for Youngbin and Lin, and the fact that they are very susceptible to a gank from Morgana. Who look at Josie's already on that side of the map. I think it's okay to focus on at the very least covering them, and especially because you can fight for that scuttle crab with the priority you have on your bot lane.
Arendelle, though, taking a big old chunk from
Yeah,
competition.
that's a lot.
Yeah, you already dropping near 100 health points. Competition, of course, maintaining that. This Vix lane situation isn't in a good spot, though. Definitely wants to see if he can crash this. Both junglers. Real interesting, Jazzy didn't go for the full clear. He didn't get his Krugs, so he's going to be down to camp instead of looking for a mid lane gank. Ooh! Okay, Arendelle. Back away, competition as well. But definitely going to get a shove under this turret. Jazzy's going to be a little bit late on these camps, though.
Yeah, I think this Morgana struggles a little bit in clearing the Krug, so he's just going to leave it for the moment here. And you're seeing the pings come through. Josie could skip the crab and go top lane, but I think you want to secure at least one of these for yourself while moving, before you move up to that side of the map here. They know the Krugs are available because of the deep ward from Distalfinks, and we're actually going to see this Hawkshot come out too that could very well give a little more information on where Dragon Jindy's bot lane.
Yeah, pay attention to where Whimsy is going to go on to Dragon Jindy, but then he's not under turret range as of yet. Finally, we're going to see him go through, but Youngbin was taking the turret the entire time. Miss execution, a gigantic whiff of the play from Conviction, giving AoE randoms 2 kills.
Yeah, and just on short hop, no less. First blood for the second time in a row in this series is going over to this Ashe. That is a nice injection of gold into a lane that was not winning, Will. There was a lot of pressure short hop and pockets were feeling until, again, a botched play on the bottom side of the map here for Conviction have just ruined the best matchup they have, realistically, looking at this, looking at the game state.
Yeah, man. So Conviction has to go for some cheddar cheese because Colin, sitting in a bush, is going to be tethering and flashing away.
Oh, the root?
Should be binding in, but Colin has to back away. One more hit is going to do it. He actually gets a trade. Conviction does not want that trade. Youngman has to see if he can secure this second kill with Pacus. Making sure Pick's helping him out, and he's going to flash away.
So at least the shutdown gold is going to be a nice pickup for Youngbin, but overall, you do not want to lose Lin in that scenario here. Might have a 2v2. Going on mid, no wards means they actually don't know Dragon Jindy is there. He might have walked over Scuttle because you are seeing the question mark pings come through. But everything's kind of slowing down a little bit right now as nobody is really making a play for this Dragon at the moment. Short hop walking back to lane with these tier 2 boots is actually going to be pretty big for him here. Now they can start getting the better end of this matchup, and that should allow AoE to be able to make a move on this Dragon.
It's a little bit unfortunate. Colin, though, going to say hi to Competition. Competition going to be trying to turn around the matchup for himself. Goes back to a Spirit form with Colin taking a big trade as the gank is unsuccessful for Conviction.
Yeah, Soul Unbound is a really cool ability. Well, just how he can leave his body like that. It's so sick. Now, Pacus is going to allow, or rather help Competition shove out this lane once again. You can see a lot of help Comp9 has been getting so far.
Yeah.
Josie, Pacus, and it is really important. This is a good matchup here on the side of AoE's mid laner. Comp has a lot of control here. Being able to facilitate that, make it hard for Ariandel, who is out of mana, by the way, is a really good way for them to start this game.
Usually Arendelle playing is always getting pressured in, and it's always going to be working out. A little bit of a 2-on-2 just to get the wave under the turret, but Competition, low 6, not going to use the Fate Seal, that's it yet. But it's all what AoE wants to do is make sure they have this river control off that mid lane priority. And knowing that Arendelle TP's up, he can look to retaliate. On the bottom lane, though, Short Hop's getting tackled by 3 people. Doesn't get sacked, though. Dragon Jindy's going to see if he can try and break down and down. But let's look at Short Hop. Turn around, call in. TP from Distalfinks to turn around the fight. But Chim also TP's on the back end to take down Youngbin as well. Distalfinks missing the 5-stack Nunu work is going to be a big whiff. We see isolated one-on-ones, but Distalfinks is the one that gets binded by the try. You in the middle of 3, my man. You have to hop out, skip and jump and skip and slash, but Chim taking another kill.
Yeah, that's crucial. So many. That's 2 TPs for 1 committed here in favor of AoE random. So for them to also come out on top here is so big for them. You look at the wave on the top side as well, as you're going to see Chim start to make his way back there. It means he could probably be able to... Actually, you're going to have Short Hop moving top instead to shove that in, and you have them swap lanes just to make sure nobody loses out on too much farm here. And pushing that wave into turret is going to be pretty bad for Distalfinks as well. So he was one of the big ones you wanted to get ahead here in the comp, just like in game 1 for Conviction. But so far, it is not playing out that way.
It's a bunch of blunders from Conviction and the way they move and the way they want to start these fights. Because, like what Desrex said, man, every time they look for a play, like they are down for it, they're committed to it, but then they're missing everything. Arendelle is going to be taken down on the opposite side. You see the soul and shield. He just basically create that much space, and because of his soul, man, my God.
And that is a very impressive from Competition 9. Now at this point, with those tier 2 boots, he is just completely online, as it does end up being with the Brothers of Wind, we'll call them, between Yone and Yasuo. And of course, Comp, he really wants to go for this one, even though he doesn't have the ulti. I think they just want to put as much pressure on Distal Things.
Competition don't give no F's, man. But right now on the screen, AOE, because of this lane swap that occurred with the teleports, it creates a different opportunity for both these teams to kind of take and trade objectives. Conviction gonna get the Mountain Drake for themselves, whereas AOE Randoms, they're gonna get the Rift Trail for themselves too. So it's gonna be seeing what they can do with that Rift Trail, but they got that Golden Injection. They can use it to start snowballing themselves.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. You could start using that potentially even in the top lane if you want to. You already see Josie hanging out, posting up in that top side jungle as well. And because Youngbin and Colin are late to the play here, you see the turret plates are already starting to go down. We're getting really close to a point where Josie can just drop the Herald, and we're going to see that happen right now. And that forces Youngbin and Lin to back up, as that's going to be first turret gold going over already for the side of AOE Randoms.
Ranking out the top outer turret. Shelly is going to be looking to see if he can crash the second one under there. Right now, see an arrow come flying through onto Youngbin,
no.
and Youngbin's actually going to fall down because of it. Get sniped, AOE says.
And that's rough. You see, because of Competition getting aggressive in the mid lane, he actually spotted Lin, it looked like. So that is immediately the call. Wait, Jinx is by herself?
Yeah.
No, illegal.
It's also top outer turret falling down from Conviction too. So AOE having all the agency that they have, 9 minutes in, almost 10 minutes in beatdown, and they have a near 6K gold lead compared to game 1 where they're only sitting just a couple, 1 maybe 2K ahead. And Distal Finks haven't gotten a solo kill as of now. Might see a little bit of 1-on-1 though. Chim activating the Shroud, spots Distal Finks in the bush, ignites, comes in. Let me fight you in that hollow mist because I can easily execute you with that perfect execution.
And it's just a really easy play there for Chim, who is really just coming on top here in this matchup, is already heading gold. You can see the itemization coming through as well. Dark Seal stacking away is getting really, really strong. And now you can see with this kind of lead, he can look for these 1v1 plays. And realistically, if you look across the board, that's true for every member of AOE Randoms at this point. It doesn't feel like in these individual matchup scenarios they can win it out no matter who you're looking for. So it is going to have to be about stack plays, trying to play from Fog and try to punish someone from the side of Randoms who are overextending.
You see right now, though, beatdown, that both these teams are trying to see if they can take opposite outer turrets. AOE on the bottom, Conviction on the top. Both these teams looking to retaliate on the opposite end as Dragon Jindy has to flash away. Jazzy not going to get the stun off the Soul Shackle, so Dragon Jindy is going to walk his way freely away from the situation.
And, I mean, you get his flash out there for your ult, which is so beneficial. And now there's just more turret plates that Short Hop is going to be able to take away here. As although Distal Finks is going to try to clear the wave, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is back up. So he's going to have to be really careful with how he plays this one. He could just start autoing him.
Yeah, they're trying to burn that Hollow Mist too, but now Poke's going to go in. You know what? Let me throw that Wild Growth on top of myself. Let me just go and bind you down in. Jazzy going to take a kill on Distal Finks too under the bottom outer turret.
And it's just that easy when you have the Wild Growth available. And now there it is. AoE Randoms just continuing to be the aggressors here, pushing their advantage. And then we're going to see Short Hop pretty much become a part of 10 out of the 15 turret plates that are going down here on Conviction's side of the map. And well, there's 2 minutes left, there's about 2 minutes left until plates fall. I think you got to imagine Short Hop's going to be looking at that mid turret too.
That's where I'm right here. I'm like, yo, Short Hop, can you feed us? You have 10 plates, man. You have us on the desk, that's 5. You got your team 2, I think we're good.
Yeah,
you can have some dinner with AoE Randoms.
I think
for
so.
Conviction, though, they have to go to the community center to see if they can find something for themselves because they only got a couple of plates. They do get 5 plates for themselves, but AoE, they sit in there and they feasting.
I think feasting's an understatement now. We're getting pretty close to the 7,000 gold lead here at just under 13 minutes. You're seeing the gold numbers popped up here. There's just a lead in every conceivable category here, in every lane. And it is really starting to show in how a lot of these skirmishes go. The fact that Distelfinks, you're not allowed to walk into these 1v2 scenarios. You're not allowed to even be on their screen. And it's just so many situations like that that make this so hard here. And Convictions, if they want to play from behind, if they want to find ways to come back, it's like I said, it's going to be about trying to set up lines of vision, trying to play from fog, because AoE randoms, they might make a mistake, and that's what you have to be looking for.
Right now, though, Conviction, they have to find some way to rally themselves in this game, man. They haven't really made any proactive moves outside of the botched bottom dive. And right now, they're just kind of twiddling their thumbs. Arendelle may have trying to find a look on to Chim as he is going to go in. Hijacks the perfect execution on the 1, activates the 2. Chim's going to back away. As now we see Distelfinks on to return. Doesn't land needlework, but lands 1. We do see a gigantic turnaround as Chim falls down. Conviction going to be taking one for themselves as competition. Unfortunately, unable to save his teammate.
Yeah, but look at the damage he's doing. He can actually take this skirmish if he really wants to here.
Back off.
I know, it's not worth it, but like, I'm just saying, man like me would have gone for it, Will. Look at those low health bars, the way they were lining up, but competition is much more disciplined, as he just knows that he's keeping the attention of so many people topside. What does that mean? That means you get a dragon. That means you get the 15th plate that Short Hop has been a part of in this game so far.
Yeah. Also, just a heads up that Short Hop got another kill on a Youngbin off of the Enchanted Crystal arrow that happened off screen. Still pushing the leads up, and remember, Conviction, game 1, it looked like they had a lot of fight, but Beatdown, this game 2, legit looks like they don't got any fight left in them, man.
It's starting to feel that way, and with how Conviction, it feels like they are not sure what to do here in this game so far. Like, at the very least, you see they are trying with how they committed 3 to the top to try and take down Chim, and they actually succeeded. So they got some gold in their pockets for that, but you got to keep going. You got to keep finding whatever opportunity you can in those situations and just take them. But with so little to fight for on the map, Second Rift Herald being kind of whatever, how many opportunities are they really going to get here? You can even see Chim is starting to pay respect with how he is hanging in that bottom lane with where the wave is pushed out. He's not lingering too far. He's just going to hang out in the bush unless you see somebody show up.
Finally, he does going to spot Dragon Jindy, which means that Chim can look for this one-on-one if he wants to. Distelfinks actually going to get jumped on by 3 members. Short Hop going to be taking a kill for himself as Distelfinks falls down to the waist side. Cheeky little move from AOE just to walk into the top quadrant because of all this vision that they've been controlling the entire game. Beatdown.
It's vision and it's also power that AoE have over Conviction. When you just look at how much damage Short Hop is doing with these autos, like he's already at 2 items. He's very, very powerful at the moment and still has that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You're seeing Dragon Jindy do what he can, try and invade. He gets the blue buff, which is a bit of a consolation prize. It's something, but the fact that your top quadrant jungle is, you see, it's just riddled with red side wards. There isn't anything for them to do here except try and take this turret.
Well, they want to find a fight actually on the bottom side, but Youngbin managed to turn things around onto Short Hop. Competition has to ulti away, but a good old Bear Slap will secure Pacus his death, and Conviction finally a solid defensive play as he falls down.
Yeah. They're just trying to be real nice and give it to Ariandel. He's saving the bear stun just to make sure that he can get the kill. And that's kind of the example of what I was talking about here. AoE randoms might overstep, and we're seeing an example of it right there, Will. And the fact that they punished it is good for Conviction. They just need to keep it up here. Competition?
No, it's okay. Has a black shield on top of himself. Okay. And then we do see Dragon Jindy binded and soul shackled. Has to see if he can walk away. Bear Stance isn't going to help him as he does get stunned up, but Mercury Treads is a good thing. That's nasty, helping him out. Make sure he doesn't get stunned too long as he waddles away.
So ultimately, he's going to be able to walk out of that situation, but that doesn't change too much. You are happy you got those kills virtually for free, if you think about it. So this is not too bad for Conviction here. They can finally start to move around in their own jungle, potentially try and clear out some of this vision, but you can just see how it happens on the opposite end of the map. Now AoE randoms are clearing the bottom side, now placing their own deep vision, and you're playing this game where I think I heard somebody on MSI say it's like playing Resident Evil, where you know what's gonna happen when you walk into the dark
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, but you gotta.
I mean, if Convention's playing a horror game, it's probably like that, especially when you walk in these jungle, man. You get hit by lichens, you get hit by whatever is sitting in this bush. I mean,
Ice.
ice. Right now, three of them are showing right in front of Dragon Jindy's face, but you know that man doesn't want to walk up. Go to the merchant, buy a nice old shotgun, get your upgrades, then see
Nah.
what happens.
Yeah, and don't do what I did that one time in Resident Evil 4 and kill the merchant. Because, fun fact, he doesn't show up anymore.
He don't show up, man. He did.
No.
Arrow's gonna whiff though, but Youngbin has to walk away. He's gonna get jumped on by Jazzy. Soul Shackle isn't gonna land, but a good Wild Grove is actually gonna secure Youngbin out, and that means another kill for the AOE team. Another kill on the top lane too. Give him some more.
I was about to say, kill after kill going through here. See, I like this. The bush plays are coming through, but I don't know if they actually want this one.
Competition 1 versus 2 situation is going to be using the Death Fate Unsealed on an Arian Doe. Can he turn around? Soul Unsealed is going to not work, but he's going to flash and get the Fate of Steel on top of him. Dragon Jindy is like, yo, I got to back up. My boy's gone.
Oh, and it's just so tough. He's going to flash the level 5 mastery just to put salt on the wound there. It's so hard. It looked like they weren't sure about making that play because how strong competition is on this Yone, and you see how it doesn't work. The 2v1, you end up losing out, and you don't even kill competition here, and it's so tough. That's another dragon in AOE Random's pocket. It's only the second, so the soul is going to be late, but well, I'm also really worried we're not getting to that soul.
I don't even need a soul, dog. They don't
No.
need it, man. They're so far ahead right now in this game. They could just walk into the base and be like, yo, that's mine. They're going to take candy from a baby if I'm AoE randoms. But that's why I'm convinced. Y'all need to see if y'all can put up a fight. Because right now we're always seeing these isolated one-on-ones, but they keep on dying because of it. Dragon Jindy falls down. Ditsa Fink's going to show up and be like, yo, I just witnessed a murder. Let me call the cops. See if we can help out.
Yeah, but by the time, in classic fashion, they show up a little too late for anything to be done about it. As Chim is just going to walk away, majority of his HP intact. And at this point, 5-1, it's really difficult to actually try and get involved here. He actually has 2 levels on Distal Finks at this point in the game as well.
Got a lot of level leads. We got a level lead in the mid lane.
Yeah. Got a level lead in the top lane. We just talked about it in the jungle. Yeah. Experience is good. It's a very good thing. Ariandel, don't do it, bro. You don't want this.
We got backup, though.
Yeah, I still don't think he wants this.
They chilling.
Wow, it's actually like...
Come on, competition. You know you want Swarm, too.
Wait, I feel like there's no wards, too. I feel like that's just some spider sense there from competition.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, this ain't right. I learned my lesson.
He hopping in, though. He's going to get stunned up, snared up. Everfrost. Distelfink's now around the corner. Has to flash over the wall. Distelfink's going to flash over, too, but he has that need to work on lock. However, Immortal Shield Ball is going to do enough, but not enough as Distelfink's finally picks up a shutdown.
It cancels the ultimate, so it looks like they do end up wanting it in that 2v1 scenario, and it's really big. That Distal Thinks is the one to be able to get that gold. And again, I like this. Gold lead is still like 8,000, so keep it up, Conviction. Keep trying to set up your sideways as best you can and hope you can make a bush play onto somebody with a big shutdown. Unfortunately, no 2 big shutdowns available on the side of AoE, but if you get a pick during an important objective, maybe a dragon, a baron, that could be the start of you getting your way back into this game too.
But I think Conviction needs to go back to the drawing board. Beatdown. I like what you said, where eventually AoE is going to throw so much offense that there's going to be holes in that offense, and Conviction needs to find ways to punish it. They find it like once in the top tri-bush, which is a good thing, and then they're finding some holes in here too. But they need to find more if they need to get back in the game.
That's right. The advantage is so strong right now for AoE. That's why it's tough for them to... A couple of kills just aren't really going to cut it here. And at this point, it seems like AoE 2 are learning from some of these mistakes. You see Chim die early on like that, play safe immediately. He's like, all right, you know what? You got me. That's fine. I'm going to hang back now. Competition 9 is the same thing. He pushes out a wave, and he stays in a safe spot, except for that time where he used the blast cone into that brush. That doesn't count. That's different.
One thing that I'm also surprised about, too, Beatdown, is that AoE from... just maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago, is that they haven't really kept up that pressure in the jungle with all that vision wards. Right now in the game state, they're actually just looking to just control river for these neutral objectives on the table, but I'm surprised they're not going up and walking up into these jungle quadrants, setting up deep vision and catching people off guard. Instead, they're just guarding the river. It's a little bit of a change of pace, but with Dragon Jindy and Conviction feeling like they have some safety to walk up. This might just be a bait for AOE.
And especially because now the top lane being shoved in means they can just go for the collapse here.
Dragon has to flash away, so he'll be okay. But that is a resource being blown. And that was what, like I said, Beatdown, it was like, you know what? A little sense of safety kind of costing him.
Yeah, it is. You have to blow the flash there as Dragon Jinji is unfortunate. I think one thing to commend is that he's actually not too far behind when it comes to farm, despite him getting camp stolen, him dying a couple of times there as well. But it's really the only bright spot outside of potentially Youngbin. Wait, is that the...
That was the... Yes, sir. Yes, it was. Let me fire the arrow right back at you, Short Hop. But now they have the sights on Youngbin. Youngbin is going to see if he can go low, but he's still perfectly alive. Short Hop is going to flash forward as he trades his life away. Distelfinks trying to zone him out now. Competition in the middle of 1 versus 3. Going to go back to his soul as Distelfinks is taken down. And with a teleport. Jazzy on the chase. Airfrost is going to just hurt, but the binding still lands. No follow-up to continue. Arendelle cleansing himself away with that Mikhails from call-in. The chase is still continuing from the randoms team. Flash binding is going to get that net. Chim going to go in the inside as he's going to see if he can dunk on call-in, and he does so. Arendelle cannot be the bodyguard for his quarterback as AOE take down 2 members.
Oh, things were going so good at the start here for Conviction, but they end up getting chased down by Josie on this Predator Morgana with the rest of his team. And now this is the beginning of the end here, Wills. They're going to get themselves this Baron, and they can turn that into a base play. Not only that, with this Dragon coming up in about 10 seconds, it is possible to grab it for yourselves if you're AoE, but with the TPs and it spawning right now, Conviction might be able to get it for themselves. But it is a small consolation in what is a very perilous situation.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get something, man, especially when they're dedicating that many resources for the Baron. But like you said, Beat, I'm with you. At this point, AoE just have to walk themselves in the base, so especially with that Baron buff, and just close out the game neatly. Don't need to do any fancy games. Don't need to do any fancy macro plays. Just make sure you guys are all 5 together, because Conviction needs to see if they can actually close out the game or actually turn this game around on its head. 10 goal behind, though. Beat down 25 minutes in. It's slipping away.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. At this point now, we're seeing a play being made here onto Chim.
Okay.
Question is, oh my gosh.
Chim, you already find a one-on-one, but still sitting the trot. He gets the execution
What?
under the hallowed mist, man. And now we got the backup from competition to make it even more worth it. Double kill comes out for Chim as the backup is being called in. It's calling Youngbin and Dragon Jindy having to walk away. Glitter Lance is going to land. Arrow's not going to land through, but Dragon Jindy turn around on a focus, but Chim is still back in. Gets a 3rd kill in this fight. He wants to see if he can take down the unofficial Penta, but no, he's not going to as competition takes down the other. But that's going to be it, man. That's a 5-man ace for AoE as they're walking down the bottom lane.
We still have the Baron buff here. Not quite the spawn timers, I would say, to go for an end play, especially with some of your big ultimates off of the table here. But you absolutely get an inhibitor for yourselves here, Will. And it just gets even harder now when Baron comes up in the next couple of minutes. You have all these supers pushing down on the bottom side of the map. You have top wave pushing in that no one's able to catch right now because Distelfinks is worried about the base.
They have to defend this, man. They can't defend anything as middle inhibitor turret and the middle inhibitor is going to be falling off to the wayside. 2 lanes now open, beat down. And all AoE has to do now is walk themselves in the top lane to close out this game.
And it's very, very possible. They're going to move in. You see Conviction moves in as a unit there just to try and cover Youngbin farming out this wave, because now they have supers coming in mid and spot. They got to see if they can at least try and shove out the top wave a decent amount here. Give themselves some kind of space to enter this top side jungle, as we're seeing Dragon Jindy attempt here. Very perilously, of course, but he must be pretty confident that they are on reset on the side of AoE.
Which is so tough to deal with because you know what lane they're going to be going towards. You know the way they want to attack, but then eventually you're just going to get choked out. And speaking of getting choked out, Youngbin, he's going to get jumped, man.
And
One person
out.
there. Second person there. They actually don't even need some help. I mean, that's one person already being taken away.
And just take a look at the mini-map, too. You see Competition 9 on the bottom side of the map, just shoving in these waves, helping, just escorting the supers to go in and threaten those Nexus turrets. And, well, 2 people down. AoE can push for the end here. They still... Oh, the Baron buff's about to run out, but they're strong as hell.
Oh, sheesh. Almost like would have done it. Already see Competition going deep in with that wild growth. is perfectly fine, but pushing out Dragon Jindy and Colin away from the base is not going to be a good thing for themselves as Conviction. 3-man defense. They're holding themselves on, but it is real tough as AOE are just maintaining the siege. Finally, just if it's going to go in, but with Nexus Turrets being down, this is the trigger for AOE to pull all the way through. Arendelle in the middle of 3, but because of this goalie that they have, they're just throwing themselves at the wall and falling away. No one dies on AOE as they take down this Nexus and get themselves to a game 3 and get them to that match point.
33-8, Will.
Yeah.
That is the big thing that is standing out to me right now. The fact that AOE randoms were in control from start to finish in even more dominating fashion than we saw in game 1 really makes me worry about going into this game 3. It's not impossible. Conviction can absolutely kind of regain and find themselves back in.
Like, it looked like Conviction had like the right idea. We're going to dive this bottom side. We have the wave. We're good. Yeah. They didn't calculate the whimsy. Youngbin took aggro. And after that, like, they just didn't do any sort of like proactive plays outside of just setting up defense, They didn't really make any offensive plays outside of like these side lane catches, but that's pretty much it. They didn't make any dragon plays or Baron contests or anything like that, man.
Yep. Because they couldn't. Because as soon as you lose out what's most likely your most important winning lane in the bot lane there, you were having the push, you were applying all this pressure, but throwing it all away, giving Ashe a double kill for Pockets is just a crucial, detrimental, and some would argue game-ending error, because it was at that moment you no longer had the ability to drag this dragon. You no longer had the agency to be able to try and make plays through your bottom lane.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. I just feel like instead of diving bottom, you could have just helped out Disrespinks on the top side, because that's a winning matchup and you can deny all that farm, It's a melee champion. You could have done that, but hopefully they take a chance, because right now, Beatdown, we're going to go on a break. We're also going to have another swap coming in, too. I wonder who you're going to be casting, because this is going to be pretty... Hopefully, y'all going to have some fun. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back.
तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा
What is going on, everyone, to the Unified Premier League Game 3 between AOE Randoms and Conviction. My name is William Chillingwalk Moore, the most chilling man on the internet. And, of course, I got my two boys, Alex Mad Magic Wilden, and the most ravishing man on the internet, Ravishing Ravish. I'm now your host, and now you guys are both my guests and my analysts. And I want to check in with both of y'all. How
I'm
y'all
an
feeling?
Analyst.
Yeah, Alex is an analyst. All right, Alex.
Homewrecker's great.
His one and only
This is the-
point, bro.
Yo, this is the worst situation now because now he has like every excuse to talk about Omrecker, man.
I do.
All right, Ravish, I'm gonna skip Alex real quick. Ravish, I'm going to you.
Hey, what's up, bro?
How'd you feel about that game, dog?
Yo, first and foremost, I'm a play-by-play, bro. I'm gonna talk about all the ability names that were expressed. All right, so Gwen, you snip, and then Akali, his perfect execution, and then Yone, use last breath, and the game ended.
Oh wait,
Easy,
you got the
bro.
wrong dog. It ain't last. Yo, Magic. All right, Magic, you the play.
What's up?
Is Yone's ultimate called Last Breath?
Yone's ultimate?
No,
that's
no.
Yasuo. That's
No.
Yasuo's.
That's
Ooh.
Yasuo.
Yeah.
No,
That's Yasuo's.
no, it's fate sealed.
Mhm.
That's why Ravish is a play-by-play. That's why Ravish is a host, not a play-by-play right now.
I know nothing.
Like, you only named like 3 abilities. I'm like, what happened
Yeah.
to 5-point strike? What happened to the Twilight Shroud? What happened to Shuriken Flip coming in from Akali? What is all this?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, Ravish. Come on, Ravish. What you doing, dog?
All right, okay. If you really want me to break down that game, let me go ahead and put on my analyst hat. All right, let's do this, bro.
Oh, I like
To
these
break
on
down
hats.
what's going on, what I saw in front of me right now, right? It's so to be able to actually be able to break down what
Yeah.
happened in front of you guys. It's
Mhm.
you saw the red from the early game, just how much of a lead and we were able to have, especially focused on the bottom side. We know short hop, how good he was considering in the 2v2. But
Okay.
one main thing that we also had to point out as well, this is not the same Gwen that we saw before. And we see it right here in this play. But both short hop and Pockets absolutely smurfing it. This Ash pick has been doing wonders for them as play turns out beautifully.
I mean, honestly, the thing for me is like Conviction always does have these early game identities that they want to play so aggressively, but it's almost like they just don't understand when they can go for these plays, right?
Oh.
They sometimes are just a little too ambitious. We saw it in game 1 where they invaded, but they didn't have really the mana bars to be able to do so. There, they go for a dive that, I mean, unless you're going to be able to set up a perfect like amount of damage onto them prior with all the minions, it's not really going to be that easy.
I mean, you're definitely right, man. That level 1, that little level 3, 4 dive definitely botched a lot of Conviction the way they want to play. Because I was cast that game, it kind of looked like they didn't have any more gas in the engine, kind of falling to the wayside. Speaking of which, Alex, you can take down your analyst hat down now because we're in play-by-play mode now. So
But I'm an analyst.
There you go.
okay,
Of
well
course.
then Alex, I'm gonna go to you. What should
Okay.
have Conviction done differently as an analyst?
I mean, not go for that dive, one thing. But then there's the fight immediately after that where it as again, them just kind of overextending. They thought they had a little bit more river control around the dragon that they just didn't have. They
Mhm.
gotta just understand when they can make these plays and when they can't. And I think one of the big ones that you even highlighted with Beatdown is that we would have liked to see that they played around the Gwen more in the top
Yeah.
lane. And they just keep not doing that. And I want to see that focus more because when they finally do call in Distil things into these fights, it's great. They're able to get kills early on, but here, Distil is just way, way, way too far away. But they need to make sure they're getting the Gwen snowballing earlier so that when Distil is this far up, you can actually 1v3.
I mean, you said it, dog. You're 100% right. I agree with you. Wow, Alex, you're kind of smart when you put on that analyst hat. Would you ever want to be trying to be color or no?
I mean, I definitely would be, but, I would also talk about Omrecker way more than I already
That's
do.
true. How hard is it to balance that cup, real quick? I gotta
Oh,
check in.
really difficult. Especially speaking, I don't know how it hasn't fallen.
This is what we need, Ravish. When Alex goes into color mode, is like, just make sure he doesn't move, dog. Make sure he stays still, right?
I have to,
Well-
focus on my head movements to make sure it's not falling.
Well, to put on my analyst hat again here, Will.
Ah,
I
there it
do
goes,
that
it fell!
1000%. No! I have to make sure to not move my head at all, but the problem is the cup is very light, so the fan will knock it down eventually, but until then,
Well,
I
see,
will
mine
seem
had stuff
smarter
in
to
it.
you all.
Okay.
Now, going past this here, I think Conviction as of right now, they're caught in a very desolate position, and to be able to possibly bring it back, they need to
Mhm.
find one here to focus around, and
All right. Well, with the last person standing, I gotta get one more point in right before we head off to the desk here, guys. Ravish, I need you to give some love to the top laner of AOE Rams because the man had an amazing performance.
Yes, he did, bro. My man,
Oh, wow.
Jim on the Akali,
That's
absolutely
a collie, by the way.
smurfed it, bro. Akali, by the yeah,
That's
it was absolutely phenomenal. Pay no attention to the fat man behind the screen. Gragas just ate Akali, bro, but she is in there, man. Yeah, you see a 13-1, 2 solos, sick plays, sick guy. I really
All right. Yeah, that's Akali on 13 kills, by the way. Akali on 1 kill, Akali 13. So
fed.
that's gonna be that she's fed now. But that's gonna be it for the desk, guys. 5 minutes in, we're good. Oh man, damn it. All right. Well, we're gonna be right back, and y'all gonna see us on the desk. But I've got to toss it over to our awesome commentators to Beatdown and Deserex to kill it for this game 3.
Welcome back to the casting desk. My name, Eric Deserex Beltran. I am the play-by-play now. No longer in the position next to Rav. I get to be free of him.
No, don't make me laugh.
I just became Rav. Became Rav. Joined by Beatdown Boulevard.
Hi.
You actually got the full ceramic mug up there.
Yeah, man.
Good luck, my friend. Good luck. We got to start talking about this matchup. AOE Randoms versus Convictions. It's going pretty fast, Beatdown. This is already a 2-0. And AOE Randoms, they're looking to just close this one out very, very soon.
Yeah, I think the only thing going faster than this game is my heart rate at the exact moment with me balancing this cup on my head. But you're right. AOE Randoms are kind of speed running throughout this series. Each game seems to be better than the last. And Conviction, it's tough. I think Will said it really well on the desk. They play for these early game. I think it was Magical, actually. They play for these early game aggressive compositions. And compositionally, I love it. I love being able to have this early game agency, try to make plays, facilitate dives, but it doesn't seem to be working. And you actually brought it up to me earlier, Deserex. Maybe we switch Distal things off of the Gwen. Maybe we put him in a bit of a different role. Because realistically, no matter how strong he seems to get here, if you cannot facilitate him in these skirmishes and these team fights, it's not really going to matter in the end of the day because Gwen does need that bit of support to be able to stay on top of people.
Yeah, over in the top side, I mean, game number 1, we saw a dominant play come out of Distel when he was on that when he was on that Gwen. But game number 2, they had him figured out. They were just able to style on him and not let him get to that 3-0 early game that we saw before. You are trying your hardest, Pete.
I am, dude.
I commend you for it, brother.
Thank you. I'm doing fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Now the thing is now I am, oh my God. I am, the thing I am trying to focus on right now, aside from balancing this cup, is what we haven't seen the side swaps come through yet, Deserex. I mean, this might be the last chance Conviction even has here if they lose out in the series, of course. So what are they going to focus on? It seems like Jinx no longer a priority for them as they're banning it away, but they don't necessarily want to give it away as well. Usually the Varus is the first thing they take away, so this could be indicating that that is now on the menu for them.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Varus and Lee Sin bans. The alternating one has been Diana and Thresh. So I still believe we're going to see the same pattern. We should see the Lee Sin and Varus taken away afterwards. But you're still leaving up some pretty potent things. And AoE randoms, we've seen them go for the first pick Ashe. We've seen them go for the first pick Thresh. And those are very strong champions when it comes to the red side rotation. They've been working pretty well with it as more bans do come through.
Yeah, it's true. And then Thresh is probably going to be taken off. They did that in the previous game as well. Although it depends really what they want to go for here. Interestingly enough, Tahm Kench has made it through a lot of these, or rather avoided a lot of these bans in previous games here in this series. Not necessarily made it into drafts, but it could be an option here. You asked me whether or not they're going to ban the Morgana. It's looking like the answer is going to be yes. And you got to imagine that Rumble is still going to be a priority takeaway here for the AoE randoms as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rumble. I'm also looking at Lee Sin because I know AoE randoms love to take that when it's red side. And now it is finally open. It's been banned away from the last few games. So keep a close eye on that. Still got quite a few more bans to go. It's going to be the Nocturne taken away. Pretty much AoE randoms feel comfortable with the way the bans have gone in the last 2 games. I still can't believe you have the cup in that head.
I am committing, and as soon as we get onto the Rift, I will stop this hellish torture I've gotten myself into. But I think the matter is, you can't tell me what to do, Hyper. I'm keeping the cup on my head. Conviction, last ban. Lulu. I like
Lulu.
this one a lot because realistically, really strong pick, and with how much it terrorized them game 2, like no shot you're letting that through.
Oh yeah, I mean, B2, B3 was Gwen Udyr. The instant response was to take the Lulu pick and stop any of that forward momentum, forward engage that can come
right.
through. Lulu is such a troll when it comes to that. One more ban to come in for AoE randoms. They're going to feel
Of
confident
course.
keeping it the same it's gone in game number 1 and 2 and take out the Rumble.
That's right, and it's still something you want to take away, even though you've been having a really good series. Still such a strong champion. You don't want to give Conviction any ways back in, any way to try and get this reverse sweep started here. Stop blowing Deserex. And now the first pick is the thing I'm curious about. Varus is still on the table. Really confident that's what they're most likely looking for here. But it's actually going to end up being the Thresh here, which still really strong support on the current patch. You take away things like the Lulu. The only thing you can really answer back with it is maybe the Nautilus. If you're a connoisseur, the Blitzcrank, of course.
Yeah, I'm dying to see what response is going to come out of AoE randoms, because this is the first time we're going to see it shaken up quite a bit because of the bans that we saw from Conviction. You were talking about some of the champions that are left up. Varus is still left on the table. They're opting to go for the Senna instead, just hovering that for the time being. It is the first rotation for them, so they are going to be able to grab 2 picks with Senna locked in. Taking to see what that exit is going to be.
It's actually pretty good at this point here because it's just such a neutralizing bot lane. When you have Tahm Kench and the Thresh, there's that handshake where it's like, all right, nothing's probably going to happen in this lane, so cool, let's farm up. And nobody loves to farm more than the Senna, let's be honest. Once she gets those stacks online, she becomes a pain in the behind, but it's actually going to be a Lilia. That's interesting.
Yeah, it provides a lot of aggression for Josie and the way he likes to play in the red side. So I like this draft so far from AoE Random's Conviction. They have a lot to work with when it comes on the table, and one of those tools is the Varus we were talking about. So are they going to lock that one in? Varus Thresh combo is pretty devastating when it comes to the lockdown.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but it's still just a hover coming through, and it's going to be the Caitlyn. Wow, that one is pretty interesting. You probably... It kind of makes sense in isolation in that you want to have a lane dominant champion, absolutely going to be outranging the Senna in the early game, so you do offer a lot of pressure. The problem ends up being with Thresh, it doesn't necessarily get what you might be looking for there, especially if the Tahm Kench does still end up being grabbed. I think unless you go double range, there's no way you can realistically punish this bottom lane and really pressure them.
So going for the Gwen is going to be Conviction this time. Distel, we saw game number 1, game number 2. It was a feast or famine situation beatdown.
Yeah, he believes, and Conviction believe in him. So all the power to them. Still a strong pick. We'll see if it works out here. In what could be the last game, the hover is just a little bit of a bait, but we'll see what AoE randoms want to lock in again. Be a big fan of the Tahm Kench, excuse me. But instead...
Oh, we've been waiting for this. This has been banned away multiple times in the second part of the draft, and it's finally going through. I guess we're going to see why this was considered a bannable offense for Conviction.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's something you really wanted to squeeze in here for competition in this potentially final game, you want to flex a little bit, all right, cool. That's fine, but now going into second ban phase, I feel like Tahm Kench is going to be taken away, and I would really like that. I like that a lot, Deserex.
You want to bench the Kench?
I don't.
I want to leave him in the dust.
I don't want to. I think Conviction should bench the Kench, but I want to unleash the Kench.
All right, unload.
I'll think of a rhyme in just a second. You keep talking. Oh yeah, uninhibit the rip. Oh,
unclog the frog.
You're so good at this. Oh what? How?
Come on, dude.
What is going? Oh my god.
Okay, I think we're going too far there, Mr. Producer, but yeah, he is gonna be benched. There he goes. Goodbye, Kench. You're not gonna see him picked up.
No, and it's really not too surprising. You got to mention, randoms know this. Going into the second parts of the draft, they're just going to take away one last pick of their own on top of that Vladimir. Just trying to remove some scaling options, as we already have this Gwen who's going to scale really well. And at this point, I'm curious to see if Conviction don't just focus on pinching that support pool even further, because you're trying to take away whatever other options you have. I'd expect to see maybe Nautilus taken off of the board, and I'm not sure what else would be left to play with Senna.
You know, Beatdown, am I the last one left in the sweater gang? Because, like, I'm sweating a lot on stream. We all agreed to wear sweatshirts.
Oh, yeah. You are. I'm looking at the OBS Ninja. No, Alex is still with you. I see you wearing a sweater there.
Thank you, Mad Magical. Thank you, Arcane Insane. Appreciate someone following me through with it.
There you go. As Conviction will take away the set instead, as top lane hasn't been grabbed up. I guess it's the only real matchup you're concerned with if you are Distel thinks, but I mean, now you just leave the Nautilus open.
Yeah, so AOE randoms got their pick of the litter. They will have the counter pick being on that red side. 13 seconds left on the clock. Definitely still a lot left on the table with the way these bans have shaped up. I didn't see the other two bans. There we go. They back onto the screen. Vladimir LeBlanc getting bound away. So 2 seconds left. Let's see what they go for right here. Waiting for the next part. Come on. Come on. Let's see it. Okay, we do have a little bit of a bug, but there we go. That's what I was waiting for, the least.
Yeah, there it is, the flex. Well, I mean, I say flex, but it's most likely going to be in the top lane, and they're leaving support till the very last moments there. And interestingly enough, too, we still don't know where Gwen is going at the moment. We've seen Conviction give it to Dragon Jindy, so it's possible we see top mid picked here on 4 and 5 for Conviction, and that might be the thing to spice things up a little bit in the draft. Because, it's the Diana. It's the Diana. Let's go.
Oh, we got some AP engage in this. We're going to be deep in this fight. I like the Diana pick, and we're not done with the pure aggression Conviction. Do not give a damn, man. They're going for the fight beatdown, and no one knows fight better than you.
And they're taking a page right out of RNG's playbook there. The Wombo from The Last Breath and the Diana ultimate, whose name escapes me. But shout out to Will for somehow calling it when talking about Yone ultimate. Clearly, he is just a soothsayer who can see the future. He knew that this was coming. You're welcome, Will.
Yeah, last breath, Ravish, last breath. There's the last breath. Oh, wait, wrong way. Last breath.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Is that the dinger?
Wait, Senaheimer exists, actually. So this is a really terrible, annoying bot lane to play against.
If this is going to be the final game, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and this is the problem. I already talked about how Caitlyn needs the lane bully, needs that extra range to be able to actually try and pressure. Well, you're running Senaheimer, especially because with Senna, she doesn't have to farm. That's going to be kind of a problem with what Youngbin would like to do in this game. So, that's tough.
So I do want to focus on the mid-game team fight because I see so much potential coming out of Conviction now that they have these picks, having the Gwen, the Diana, the Yasuo, champions who just like to go in and be in the face of your carries. I mean, you could still send the Zen in and try and find an assassination, but there's so many people who can respond and just try and delete Zed before the death mark finds its mark. It's a pretty hectic composition out of Conviction, and if they're going to go down, they're going to be going down in style if you take this composition.
Absolutely, and I think the thing I'm really interested in with Conviction's composition too is how this early game ends up going. Of course, you have the later scaling with a pick like the Gwen, but Diana into somebody like Lilia, well, let's just say Lilia's not the greatest at 1v1s, especially if you get the dash reset on the Diana. You can do a better job at staying on top of them. There's a lot of skirmishing potential in this early game that could go Conviction's way. Now, Death's I have said this before. We have seen this movie before, and I need to know if Conviction can write a different ending. Please play the early game.
Look, man, I have the prediction of the eviction of Conviction, so and Al will be their affliction. That is going to be the result at the end of the day. I just see it going that way. Conviction have tried their hardest, and I even commend their comp right here. They're really pulling. They're not holding back on any of the punches they're pulling, but AOE randoms have just been dominating, and I still see it going that way with this next game. I hope it shapes up differently. I would love to see this be a competitive series, but you got a team coming out from a perfect season right now going into this game number 3, looking to get a 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, this is definitely this was our expected outcome both before and when we started the broadcast with what we were talking about. But yeah, we'd love to be surprised. We'd love to be wrong, Conviction. Show us some conviction. See, now with this composition could be the way they get themselves back in the series. It could be the beginning, the embers of what could be a blazing reverse sweep.
Yeah, but it has to start in the early game, as you were saying earlier, Beatdown. You need a lead early for that comp to start spiking off and just snowball into the mid game.
That's going to be the big thing. Can you actually get things off? I no Udyr, so I think we can both agree here. No diving bot lane. Don't do it. No. Play somewhere else. You have Yasuo mid, who would be nice to get ahead. Go mid. You have Distel on the Gwen in the top lane. Go top. Just no dive bots.
Dragon's going to be looking at that R button for Diana, just waiting to press it right underneath the tower.
Yeah.
It could work out this time. They've been very, very close to making a lot of these early game tower dives that they've been doing work out, but it just barely escapes their grasp time and time again. You saw it in game 1, you saw it in game 2. Maybe this new switch in direction for Draft of Conviction can finally find them this early game success they've been looking for.
And we'll have to see how it plays out. This could be the last game in the series, everybody, is now... My eyes personally are on the bottom lane because, like we were talking about, it's not going to be fun for Youngbin and Lin unless you see Pockets or Short Hop overstep and actually give Lin the opportunity for a death senses. When you think about the Heimer turrets just playing in and out of the wave, it's going to be hard for you to actually find that opportunity here. And I also want to say, Pockets taking exhaust, good job, especially when you're dealing into someone like Diana who is trying to all-in you. Great way to make that, well, not happen.
All right, I am having a little bit of a technical difficulty. If you could just slow this for a little bit while I fix my mic. Don't worry about it. I'll be right back, baby.
That's right. Don't worry. Eric's sweet, dulcet tones will join you very shortly here. Let's see what we got going on here across the map. So far, both of these junglers going red smite. Big surprise. Chilling smite is for weenies. What else we got here? Chim playing the Lee Sin. Okay, this one's actually interesting to me because although Gwen just wins a lot of these early matchups, Lee Sin early is also quite nice when it comes to wave clear, when it comes to dueling. So I could potentially see Chim coming out on top, kind of like he did in game 2, which was also a less than favorable matchup here. Now we're going to see Ariendo put in a little bit of pressure. Desrex, feel free to interrupt me whenever you return. And there he is. Okay.
Don't worry. I'm here. We're good.
Okay. Whew.
We got those difficulties sorted out, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the matchup going on over in the top side for the Gwen and Lee Sin because, I mean, Lee Sin, we always see him in the jungle. It's very rare that we get a chance to see Lee Sin pop out of the lane.
Yeah, and it's at this point, somebody, I can't remember who, but there was a jungler who said the problem with late Lee Sin is that you are late jungle Lee Sin is not great at the moment, and you have to watch your solo laners not perform as well on the champion, and it just pains you so much. As yeah, solo lane Lee is pretty good now. What a world.
I remember the old days. Like, the old plan for Lee Sin was gank as much as you humanly can, but it's kind of hard to do that with the jungle being the condition it is, and, you know, that farm being oh so crucial.
The interesting thing now is there's little talk that he could be good just because of the changes with how the jungle camps work. They spawn a little less often than before. Catch-up XP has been reintroduced into the game, so in time we might see Lee Sin make that return into the jungle. But for the moment, Solo Lee is really good. Really good. But into Gwen, a little less good, apparently.
Yeah, you can see that early sustain and early damage starting to suit Distel quite well. I mean, both teleports are going to be burned at the end of the day, but Distel is getting the better of the trades and getting the better of the priority. That could be pretty scary if you're Josie, because Dragon has been a very aggressive jungler in this series.
That's right, and this could be finally the pick that really allows him to be that aggressive player that we have been watching him basically perform to be in the early, or throughout most of this series here. Realistically, competition 9.
Oh, it's not looking too good for Arendelle. One more auto finishes the job, but first blood will be a 1-for-1 trade between the mid laners.
Yeah, and realistically, you're just going to have these two junglers trying to pick up the little bit of extra farm they can get for themselves, as now Dragon Jindy actually is going to have to try and get the shove out on that lane, which means he might stay there a little more than he would want to. But at this point, things are just kind of chilling. Besides that, you just have these two aggressive AD mid laners basically nuking each other, taking each other out, as now every other lane is just kind of playing out the way you'd expect here. But Dragon has to flash.
Stayed around a little bit too long now.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that. Even though the junglers kind of became the mid laners there for a second, always got to watch out for when those mid laners are able to return as the fight breaks out over in the bot lane. Youngbin trying his best to get the better of this, but gets rooted up, still getting in those long distance autos to wail away at the health bars of the bot lane of AOE.
Yeah, and it's tough too, because that was actually a good death sentence there from Lin, but you see a lot of poke coming through, a lot of range damage from both Pockets and Short Hop means Youngbin and Lin, well, they don't really come out on top as much as they'd like to here. At the very least, they are keeping out in farm, but that's not the dominance someone like Caitlyn is looking for here, Eric. It's just not enough for them. And speaking of competition, he's not getting enough of the 1v1s in the mid lane. Look at him just go for the aggressive plays with those electrocute procs.
I mean, every time Arendale's able to get his triple Q, he goes for Tornado right onto competition, but that's a big conditional right there. You got to land 3 of those Qs onto minions.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take any resources or anything. It does have a lot of telegraphing, and competition has been able to at least trade with that quite decently.
And so far, so good. And you imagine when that Ignite is back, he'll be level 6, and that could just be a potential all-in ready to go there. Zed is that kind of champion where he does need the early game to go in his favor, needs to get some of these kills so he can snowball. So not a bad start here for competition. Now he has access to that death mark. As soon as he gets Ariandel low, you know he's going to go for it here.
All right, Beatdown. I want you to give me heads or tails right now. Just shout it out.
Heads.
All right, heads. All right. You know, it's just Yasuo for heads or Zed for heads.
Oh, Zed for heads.
Let's see. All right. Zed's winning the lane. That's it.
Okay, there it is.
That's the deal right there.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Not a shred of analysis necessary. The gods of luck have spoken.
I mean, it is a very coin flippy mid lane matchup at the end of the day. Whoever is able to get the lead should be able to hold on to it for the longer run. So I could see that mid lane matchup going either way. In competition 9, he has seemed to be the better aggressive, the smarter player thus far, but don't really flake on Arendale.
And we're gonna have to see. As now the level 6 is online for him as well. He's getting some poke, but he's trying to see if he can get the death mark out of him first, as Dragon Jindy is nearby. But that pathing does mean Josie can go for a play onto this dragon. Is cutting a little bit close with the HP. Luckily, Short Hop is here to help. But overall, this is a pretty good pickup here for randoms because there is no Rift Herald to trade.
Yeah, and with the bot lane already taking the recall for Conviction, that was free for AOE. The Donger's just able to roam up and guarantee that AOE are going to be able to claim this first strike of the game.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Senna not having to farm. Can be the one to make those roams. You do have the healing, and Dragon gives you 2 souls. It's just a win for AOE so far in the early stages of the game. But it feels like things are just about to tip. We're at a tipping point here, especially if we look at how the mid lane is playing out. We talked about it. That matchup is a coin toss. And hold on, Distal is in trouble.
Oh, Jim really thinking about that one, but can't find it. Dragon Jindy will take him down. Conviction able to find a kill over on the top side.
And that's big. Another champion that needs to do some snowballing here is going to be Dragon Jindy, trying to pick up these kills and just turn them into more. Whoa, hold on.
Ooh, another death sentence. This time on to Pacus. Pacus is ignited, falls to about 100 health, still able to deliver a lot of those missiles. But Short Hop is returning fire and delivering it to the face of Youngbin. Out comes an overpilt over Peacemaker, will not land onto Pacus, but this bot lane is on a knife's edge beatdown.
And every time they try to trade, they're going to fall to very dangerous levels of HP and just end up getting walked down by Short Hop, who is still full and sitting pretty at the moment here. And currently, even though you've managed to get yourself some priority, some value in some of these lanes, they aren't able to do a whole lot with it just yet. It is a very small lead here for Conviction. We got to see them turn it into something a little more.
Waiting for Arendale to go in. He's really been trying to time this death mark, waiting for that to go off before he does pop the last breath. And might see a little bit of trade here, knowing that final Q was thrown out. Competition will start the trade. Here comes Deathmark coming out. Josie showing up for the gank. You still have a while before Dragon Jindy is able to help out with this situation, but our Arendale, he will fall. It will be all too easy. And now Josie sets his sights on the dragon. Competition able to go forward with the shadows, try to finish off the kill. The burn is there. Josie gets the kill. Another set of kills going over to AOE to get them a kill lead.
And there it is. And now we've seen the dam break. We've seen what direction this composition is going to go. And there it is, Eric. Your coin toss already told us that this was going to happen. Competition 9 gets that pick, gets that kill, and is now farther ahead for it. Oh, no!
It's kind of the trend we've been seeing with Conviction. They get overzealous, they get overambitious, they try hard for these plays, but to the grave they go. Another set of kills going over to AOE.
That's just more golden XP that they're going to lose because of the waves being shoved bottom 2. And as if things could not get any worse for Conviction, they are once again starting to fall behind in this early game. Realistically, the only real lead they have is potentially Dragon Jindy here, who has been doing pretty good with the farming, does have a kill. as we are going to see a replay of how this very sad event took place.
He tried so hard. I like the idea. The death sentence not going to land, and it's just completely deconstructed. We've seen overambitious plays come out of Conviction. They keep trying these ones in the early game. Sadly, they're just so close, but so far.
And speaking of close now, they're pretty close to a potential play being made. Top is shoved. You see Lin finding a roam timer, crucially, so they could look to dive top and drop this Herald there, but it's looking like mid is actually where Conviction have set their sights.
You got a 3-man party over in mid lane, looking to try and get competition. Will get knocked out. The last breath goes out. Lin trying to get closer, but the flash will keep competition 9 alive. Josie waiting on the wings. Conviction getting foiled in their gank attempt, but not done just yet. Waiting for the snare. It goes out. Gonna land onto Youngbin, but he does get into the fog of war in time. He will be able to stay safe.
Albeit a close call. Competition 9 could make a play. Oh, the damage!
Over the wall! Goodness gracious, Colin's health bar got hate.
Oh, and it's just so bad at this point. Now you can see competition starting to go for these roams, starting to have so much impact as he's already built that Eclipse, that Mythic coming through. Means he's so very powerful at the moment here. And oh, Youngbin is so very dead.
Goodbye, Youngbin. Short hops there, Pockets there. There comes the onslaught of missiles into the face of Youngbin as Pockets grabs kill number 2 of the game.
And it just now at this point, you are able rather to get this turret up in the top side. First turret gold is actually really nice for Distill and Dragon Jindy on the top side. So being able to get that and potentially a charge onto this inner top turret is going to be pretty nice for them too. It could be the start of maybe something a little more for Conviction, who, like you said, we wanted to see them play more towards the top side anyway, and I think this was the play from the start.
Yeah, he is able to complete one item. Distill being still hoping for more impact to come out of Dragon. He really needs to have an early influence on this map. He's just read so much by AOE, who have done a great job of really warding this bot side, red side jungle of Conviction, and just keeping priority and control over there, which is going to lead to them getting another Dragon attempt.
That's right, and it's going to be the 3rd Dragon on the board. We're going to find out what soul it is, either Infernal or Earth Dragon, or Mountain Dragon,
Flip a coin.
Quick.
Too late, it's Mountain Dragon.
It's already Mountain, damn, Noth. That would have been a really good idea, though. But 2 dragons means you have a play to potentially be made here, but instead, they are just going to walk out. It's just a little pressure. It's just a little of, hey, if you thought about making a play, I'm here.
You see Competition 9 just in that bush. It gets me so nervous for anyone squishy who walks towards that, especially when his head's just waiting. But here comes Death Sentence over on the bot lane, going after Pacus and melting him. An easy shutdown for Dragon Jindy.
Oh, and so crucial. And it's looking like, again, the top side of the map here for Conviction are going to be the ones who need to step things up just a little bit if we want to see a catch-up. If we look at gold right now, things are pretty even. Of course, it is lopsided in different places based on who has the lead. But Dragon Jindy has a lot of gold. Oh, thank you so much, Observer. And now, look at top lane, too. Like, Distill thinks is 1,500 gold ahead. A big reason why they're managing to keep up at the moment.
Right there, Competition 9 trying to get in the face. Those whacking away at his tower. He will be able to defend it. Conviction trying so hard to stay in this game. Trying so hard to stay in this series. It's a very top-heavy composition coming out of Conviction right now. We'll see if they're able to do too much with this. It really is hard once we do get to the teamfight phase, because once a Heimerdinger puts down his turrets, you know, that is zone control right there. You don't get much time to really work on that backline.
Yeah, and then with that little time you have for yourself here, you do have to hope that the wombo you have for yourself here with things like the Last Breath, Dragon Jindy's ultimate, just being able to burst down members of AOE randoms. We saw it happen in the bot lane with how quickly Pacus just disappeared, and we need to see if that can work in a more team fight setting as well. With how strong Dragon Jindy is starting to get, it is absolutely on the cards here, and even better that I am pretty sure he is building Rocket Belt. Good for him. He knows his items.
Pat on the back for him, and
yes,
you know what? A pat on the back for Conviction so far being able to stay in this game much later than we've seen in the previous 2 games. They usually get that gold deficit after trying a little bit too hard on way too many plays. We're now 15 minutes into this, and the gold is dead even. We actually do have a competitive matchup this far.
That's right, and you can see with how it's a really dangerous 1v1 going through here, but no W means this still, you don't want this anymore, brother. Please walk away.
Still waiting for that Sonic Wave.
Yeah.
You know, you never know when you run around those cooldowns. Another tower will go down. Conviction able to find one in the bot lane, but here comes Josie topside looking for Distel and easily able to find her. There comes the sleep, and there comes the long range kill from Short Hop.
Oh, it's just the easy alley-oop here for Josie and a Short Hop, which unfortunately means that's more gold and more pressure in AoE's favor. Hold on, Ariandel, what are we doing here?
Arendelle, I don't know if you want to take that one. Short Hop has gotten quite a few kills, quite a few assists, can put out that damage, and Ariandale knows better now. He will take that warding shot and walk away.
Okay, he does learn his lesson, which is really important here, and now with these turrets, with some of these turrets going down, the lane assignments have swapped up just a little bit here. We'll see if a difference can be made. We're stalling competition 9, which is pretty nice here too. But this TP to save the turret is a little risky, but they want to go for it.
Oh, they're going straight for the engagement. There's engagement going off in the mid lane. Meanwhile, the Death Mark destroys Young Bin. Right there, competition 9 just able to find the ADC all by his lonesome and continue wreaking havoc on this map.
That's right, and at the very least, you can see Distel and Dragon Jindy really coming online here as they're able to actually successfully defend this top turret. You force Chim to back off, and you can make a play for this Rift Herald. Nice hook.
It is a nice hook, but there's nothing to really follow up. I mean, the Yasuo, last breath, you're just setting him to his death at that point.
To his own last breath, you could even say.
But now AoE randoms opting to go for the Herald, and no real contention coming out of Conviction. They don't have a footing in this map really established, especially towards his top side, where you can see that control ward place, both over on the ramp. There's another one going over towards the mid-river bush. It is a controlled map for AoE randoms.
And you can see they're not bothering, like you said. You have Distal things on the bottom lane now, trying to get Prio there, which is going to be important because with this next dragon coming up in 25 seconds, it is crucial that AoE randoms do not get it for Conviction, because now getting on Soul Point, especially on a Soul like Mountain where you're going to get a lot of sustain, well, that is basically a really difficult kind of composition to have to burst down if you also have a 500 shield and some extra resistances from those individual dragons.
I'm just waiting for that God tier play to come out that sets up the last breath, but it's going to be Josie forcing the engagement as competition 9 rushes forward and deletes them. Another shutdown goes through, 1-for-1 exchange as AoE decide it is time to head for the hills. A good Dragon's Rage comes out. Competition 9 and Chim are going to look to try and take it to the face of Distel and Dragon Jindy, but it's going to be Distel chopping them down. A triple kill, and now Dragon going over to Conviction.
Not only did they get the dragon for themselves, they're going to get themselves 3 kills for Distal Things. You're going to get 2 for Dragon Jindy, and this was the fight Conviction were looking for here. They deny the Soul Point. They show that they can team fight, and they've shown that the Wombo is strong enough, and you can see it in this replay here. Even though they lost Arendelle early on, the damage from the Diana and from Distal Things is what carried them through to the end.
But Beatdown, this really does show you how close this matchup is right now. This went to 2-on-2 at the very end of it. Distel was just at the perfect spot to get that Q and destroy them. But Conviction, goodness gracious, they have fight in them when it comes to this game 4.
Absolutely do, and there is not a better time that they could find that very fight, SRX, because, well, this is their backs against the wall, tournament lives on the line here in this 3rd place match. So now... Oh, man, he doesn't know, does he?
Oh, man, Josie walks into the bush. Arendelle is there. The Drowsy comes in, and he finds the sleep, but here comes competition 9. And, you know, it's just the far-range shot to make sure you get the assist in. Down goes Arendelle.
Yeah, a little, what's the word I'm looking for here? Ambitious to try and make that play once you realize... I guess he didn't, the Oracleans did not spawn out Josie. So it is also a bit of an unlucky situation there. But that kill, no mid laner, means you can focus down this tier 1 turret. It's so easy, and that's more pressure on the map given to you here over to AoE randoms.
But this feels so bad if you're Conviction, because you are the ones who just won that team fight, and yet you guys are the ones who are losing out in gold, who are bleeding, whose towers are getting demolished 1, 2, 3 in a row. One more charge. Nope. Barely able to stop it. Conviction still on the back foot despite that win. But look at this top lane fight coming out. Competition 9 trying to take it to the face of Dragon Jindy as he goes golden to get rid of the death mark. But the clone was there. Competition 9 gets the 1v1.
Oh, really tight matchup there, and that's Dragon Jindy is one of the big damage dealers there, so losing out in the 1v1 is very telling, and oh, we're going in.
Going after Short Hop. Nope. Going after Paucus now, but Paucus able to flash away. The last breath comes out over the wall. Short Hop is getting those autos in, and Oriental has to run away. He does get the kill. Josie cannot get close enough, and he will get away with it. That was a good highway robbery right there.
And Conviction are answering back with some of these plays that they are making for themselves here, but they still have to be careful. Again, we're at this point in the game where it feels like it's on a knife's edge, and we saw it where AOE randoms off one punish are able to find so much. 2 turrets in that last skirmish, and this time they're just going to take this bottom one for free here. Maybe not, actually.
Yeah, Distel is here, and he wants to take it to Chim. Here it comes. Cut, coming in with those scissors. Able to get the combo with the Q. The damage is massive, forcing out the Dragon's Rage out of Chim. Chim barely able to safeguard away, but falls so low, and it really shows you just how strong Distel is at this stage of the game with that 4-1-1 record.
I'm sorry, 2.5 items to his name. Just shows how powerful he can be. Also, with that Oblivion Orb, applying Grievous Wounds on all of her abilities makes her very dangerous to even the likes of Short Hop and Chim. So now, that's more turrets gained, though, for the side of AOE, as you see this commitment has to be made by Conviction to try and set up some of these plays, like getting on top of Chim in the bottom lane, like trying to hold on to mid priority, which means they lose turrets in the process.
And to be honest, this makes me so scared for Conviction because it is a ticking time bomb. Once we get towards those team fighting phases, this comp doesn't work that well into AoEs. Conviction need a stronger lead, and they still need to be making plays, but it needs to be right now beatdown.
And it's tough, too, because if we look at Yungbin on this Caitlyn, he's had trouble. Oh, actually, wait a second.
Tried to find the Dragon's Rage into the tower. Couldn't get the angle, though.
That would have been something special. Oh, no.
Yeah, we're not done just yet because the death mark goes out. Ariandel able to avoid quite a bit of damage, and here comes the last breath. He's trying to outplay this as best as he can, but the Shuriken will find its mark. Ariandel does fall. Another kill going over to AOE randoms as the death sentence comes out. But going golden is Josie. Pockets and Short Hop trying the best to defend. Here comes Dragon Jindy going right after Short Hop. Will eliminate him. Another one goes down. Conviction able to find 2 unanswered kills. Competition 9 running after Dragon Jindy, but he will flash over the wall. Pockets finds the missiles and takes him down.
Oh, and it's just so back and forth here in what is essentially a 4v5 scenario, because look at where Distel is. He is pushing this turret. He is clearing even more waves. And as this next dragon is coming in 20 seconds, this is still crucial for Conviction because now they are the ones who have Lyn in a safer position, their support, to be able to set up vision around this dragon pit. And that's important because you should see Conviction get there on the map, sans Dragon Jindy, of course, first, and be able to get control of that area.
Yeah, making it first to the dragon and making sure these dragons now even up. Going to provide a lot of defenses as well. While it is a competition that is not a composition that is not that tanky, it still work for them in the long run when you do have a lot of that burst that comes out from the comp of AoE randoms. But look at this.
Oh,
randoms,
I love this.
They're going for the sneaky play over the back wall. It's Baron time.
Oh my god, I think they only just realized. You see Conviction walking over, but it's too late. 1400 and all the way down to 0. They just get away with it.
Are you kidding? They've done it. They've stolen it, and they get the recall. Baron going over to AOE randoms. I'm so excited I can't even say their name right.
And it's so crucial there for AOE randoms to not only get the goal, but of course, this means that a fight in the next couple of minutes here, Deserex, means Conviction are going to lose so much more than usual because of the power of Baron empowered minions. You can have multiple lanes threatened as well because of how strong competition is, but Conviction know that.
Oh, you in the wrong side of town, homie, but the damage coming out from Competition 9! He's going for the death mark, but gets destroyed! A little bit of hubris coming out of Competition 9. AoE randoms, however, set their sights in the mid lane, going after the Stel. Stel tries to go after Pockets, gets a lot of damage on the Pockets, forced to go golden for a while. As the ace in the hole goes out, Pockets goes golden. to try and buy some time. It is going to buy enough to take down Distel. Pocket sidesteps the Piltover Peacemaker. Can you sidestep Chim? Out comes the Sonic Wave, resonating strike, double kill, going over to Short Hop, and AOE march down the mid lane.
See, that was an excellent punish from Conviction to start things out, but you're not respecting the wait, Chip?
Oh, Chim goes in, try to find the insect play. Will not get the Dragon's Rage. There comes the knockup for Ariandel. Does not have the last breath. It is on cooldown. This is so close. This is really anyone's game at this stage. It is tooth and nail, fist after fist. Both of these teams are bringing it.
And it's so difficult because Conviction do a great job punishing competition who realistically got a little too big for his britches in that situation. But here's the problem. Now you got to respect that one of your two strongest members in Dragon Jindy is away from the mid lane. You can see that wave, Desrex. That's what you do. You do not scrap it out. You do not have Lee syndrome or whatever you want to call it with the death sentence and try to make a play off of it. You let that hook go and you walk away because that's how you start to build some of these incremental leads, or in this case, it would have been these little ways of coming back into the game. But instead, AOE randoms do manage to just answer right back and still maintain their control of this game.
That being said, though, that control is only about 2.5k gold.
It's true.
We're 26 minutes in. That doesn't make the biggest difference because Distel, as well as Dragon Jindy, have been doing wonders on that top side of the map. 5-2-1, 5-3-4. They have a lot of kills working for them, and they're able to gimp people like Chim, who's been suffering this entire game, having that 1-4-2. And you can see him just tail between his legs, running away from Distel. He is a true terror to have to deal with. A recall coming in, 2 recalls. They're looking at competition 9. Pretty sure they don't want anything to deal with that. You still have Josie in the area, so just taking the recall.
Yes, level 16 Zed, 3 items deep. No, you just walk away from that situation there. So, the Baron buff has expired for AOE randoms. Probably not getting as much as they might have wanted with the buff, but they still get a lot of pressure across the map here. Look at this bottom lane needing to be answered by the wave, by Distel, and you can see now because of that they can apply all this pressure onto the top side here. They're just gonna have to watch for the TP, of course, but where is he realistically gonna TP? There's so many red wards here, Desrex.
Yeah, I can only see one really, really deep one over by the Baron, but by then, you know that AoE will push the tempo, will push the gas pedal and try and take them out before that teleport even completes. Distel will still commit towards that bottom side, pushing towards that inhibitor tower. It is going to force a recall out of Chim, and Chim has been struggling on that top side matchup. I would be very, very worried if it's only him trying to deal with Distel.
You just see competition is also going for this recall too, but I like this, getting this bottom priority again, forcing someone to have to answer to this wave, and Chim is the only one with TP. It's actually still on cooldown, so there could be an opening, or you think of sacking some of that wave and you just have Chim move away, or move down rather.
Nice steal coming out of pockets, but now Short Hop is caught out. He doesn't get the flash over the wall. He gets a Q instead as a parting gift from Dragon Jindy. That's going to be one member down for AoE. Conviction, no, they have the footing here, and they're heading towards the Dragon side area. 13 seconds until it spawns.
Okay, it's a 5v4. This could work out really well for Conviction, but still, eyes on competition. That is what is important here. That part of the map that he's in right now is dark. He's confirming it with that Oracle lens, but it's looking like randoms aren't actually going to go for it. They're going to allow the third Drake to go through, punish somebody who walks up to this wave, but now you're at soul point for Conviction here, Desrex, and they've managed to stack 3 Mountain Souls, or Mountain Dragons so far.
I mean, we were talking about their composition having a mid-game spike and kind of falling off in the late game. Well, if you want a late-game condition, Dragon Soul is the way to go. This could give you the stats you need to try and stay alive and be able to survive that onslaught that we're going to see in the late game coming from AoE randoms.
And randoms are just focusing on pushing out these waves as much as they can. Josie snagging whatever jungle camps he can as well here. As we're starting to see the level 16s come across the board here for a lot of members. A lot of these rank 3 ultimates are coming out. Big for Dragon Jindy, especially because his ult alongside Arendel's is very crucial in a Conviction's team fight here. And now, because of the darkness of this jungle here for Conviction's perspective, they have to be very, very careful about clearing this vision.
Oh man, I'm nervous for Dragon.
No,
I'm so nervous for Dragon. He's gonna get caught out. There's the sleep, and there is death. No, He will not fall. He will be able to go golden, and the lantern keeps Jindy alive. Holy crap!
Wait, he's still burning. He dies.
He still goes down. No, the juggler down. This is going to be another Baron going over to AOE randoms.
Oh, and it's just so easy. No ultimate available, no wombo available for Conviction, and they are just going to melt this Baron like a hot knife through butter as they're going to make a play in the mid lane. And Dragon Jindy's not around for another 30 seconds here, Deserex. They can fight if they really want to.
I really thought he was going to survive that one. That burn lasted for a hot hour, for a hot Morgana binding, really. Josie following there. Not Josie, excuse me, Dragon Jindy following there, allowing AoE randoms to be able to grab that Baron and get them in the driver's seat once again as they march down this mid lane. There's going to be no one to really meet them instantly, at least. You do have the recalls coming out from Youngbin and Colin, who are able to get towards the tower to provide a little bit of defense for it. But the pressure is on, and you're starting to see that old school Zed split push come up over in the top lane as well.
That's right, you got pressure coming mid, pressure top as well, and because of it, you can afford to have Chim push out and try and get this bottom wave pushed out further because he has TP and can join out the fight. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage.
Oh, that is a lot of damage. Here comes the teleport out of Chim, looking to show up towards this tower, towards this siege. The minions are there, Baron empowered. This tower not long for this world. It will fall. Another one into the pocket of AoE randoms.
And this is tough. This is where the lead is starting to grow step by step further in favor of AoE randoms here. And they're going to have to make a stand soon because losing this inhib could be the beginning of the end, especially on the top side when the crucial Dragon Soul is coming up in 2 minutes here for Conviction. The poke is so good. He's looking.
Oh, the ultimate is out. Now the engage coming out. Dragon goes deep, goes after Short Hop, and so does Ariantel. Short Hop will fall. That is one carry down as Conviction continue with the onslaught. A double kill coming out for Chim. Chim able to play defensively. A competition 9 comes around the flank and finds Distel. He will find the double as well. Youngbin, the only one to survive. He's the last one making the last stand, but he might be the last kill going over to AoE randoms as they look to close out this game. The Caitlyn defense is there, the Caitlyn range is there, and the health bars are low enough for the randoms, but there is a death mark, and there is a dead ADC. You wanted domination? This is AoE randomination here on the Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, your third place squad in the UPL, AoE randoms.
And Conviction gave us a last stand. Honestly, the best game we've seen from them this series so far. It was even for so long here, Deserex, but they could not stack up in the end. AoE randoms still managed to out-team fight, outplay, and out-macro Conviction.
Oh, no kidding, but even with all that outfighting, all that out team fighting, we finally got ourselves a competitive matchup. We saw what Conviction is capable of when they put down all the safe things, when they just decide to play with their heart and go hard in this, really put up that last stand. I appreciate that last stand so much for Conviction and everything they did in this series, but ultimately AoE randoms, they had the perfect season. They've only been stopped by Revival, and they showed why the record looked that hot with some of the most dominant map control I've seen so far in the UPL this season.
That's right, and congrats again to AoE randoms through just showing us again how dominant they can really be here as they do secure themselves third place in today's matchup. And it also makes me wonder if they only got stomped by Revival. Oh man, I'm really sad for who plays Revival tomorrow.
Oh man, that's why I wanted that matchup of Revival versus AoE randoms to be a finals matchup. They're two powerhouses. AoE randoms, they look great today. Even with the Lee Sin in the lane, they brought it up over towards the top end. Distel still came online when it came for Conviction. You saw that with Dragon Jindy as well. There was so much topside power, but it really didn't amount to that much when it came to just how AoE randoms were able to play the map with their vision control and, more importantly, with their ability to pick even when they were caught out.
Yeah, that's the most impressive thing there. Someone like the Zed on Competition 9 who was doing so much work. They're just finding these picks, even with a few questionable plays here and there. Overall, being able to grab these picks for themselves there is super important, even in situations where they didn't have the numbers that they were looking for there.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining this rotating casting desk. We had so many different casters here, but it's time to throw it over to the analyst desk. They will take it right away to break down this matchup of AoE randoms versus Convictions.
What is going on, everyone? After that game 3, just going to check in with my boys, Alex and Ravish. How y'all doing after that game 3, guys?
I've had my
Yeah.
sweater on this whole time,
Okay.
Eric.
Fuck.
This entire time.
Eric.
I never took it
Yeah,
off.
Eric. Yeah.
I can't
the
believe
hell?
you'd say everyone took it off and forget
I
about your
know.
boy. What is this?
Right,
Yeah.
right here, bro. Been
Yeah.
rocking this on my back. It says not left my person the whole time. You
Mhm.
see this hood? It means that I'm ready. And whatever else. Will, take it away.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't know why I just wear smack talking both of y'all because my guests always wear hoodies. If you want to smack talk something, you smack talk to me because I'm not rocking a hoodie, dog. But let's talk about that game because AOE, they were looking okay. They had a chance of getting in there. Distal Finks was being a good split push threat. Got the Diana Yasuo, but Ravish, tell me how that game went down with that kind of play.
Yo, first and foremost, bro. I don't got my analyst hat on right now, but I'm still trying to break it down for y'all, bro. Like we were saying before, we'll talk about the game, right? Man, that stuff was clean. Conviction came out with a wombo, but unfortunately, half the time they couldn't complete that combo. Well, you saw that they were usually minus on block, bro.
Yeah.
They were always there, like it's not working out for them. Man, my man's needed to be a plus, bro. It was unfortunate.
buttons.
You see the combo right here as well. It looked clean in the beginning, but on the other end, AOE just has so many tools of shutting that down. This is the one and only time, unfortunately, that the combo works out. But then everywhere else, like AOE, they were just too far ahead.
And
And
it was crazy for me, honestly.
Yeah,
just
go ahead,
watching
Alex.
this game. Like, honestly, I have a nice little chart here to show what happened in that game. It was
Oh,
really,
yeah.
it really boiled down to a Zed.
Yeah.
One team had a Zed, one didn't have a Zed, and competition was insane. It really was what shut down the Diana Yasuo comp from actually working out, because Endo was so far behind on Yasuo. What could he do?
I mean, like you said, man. I think competition was definitely put on some numbers that game on that. I mean, that's the reason why they banned it, right? Like, my God, kind of ran rolling, and for AOE randoms, they were looking pretty good off that. This is where I got to ask you a little bit, Alex, because they did something a little bit different in this game 3. Of course, they rocked this in the mid lane, but they also rocked the Senna Heimerdinger in the bottom lane too. How'd you feel about that?
I mean, definitely was oppressive in lane, and we see why
Yeah.
it was actually picked as a good combo over in the LCK before, right? It was one of those compositions that you just couldn't do anything to. It's kind of like Senna Tom Kench. What are you gonna do to them? You gonna gank them? You gonna gank Senna and Heimerdinger? That ain't happening. Get that out of here. There's no way that's happening. And then you have this Caitlyn that we all know has this massive trough, right? That she wants to be able to do anything. Well, unfortunately for her, the trough happened a lot sooner. Youngbin had so little damage in lane, so little damage in the mid game, and no damage late game. That is not a Caitlyn I've ever seen.
I mean, it was definitely real tough, man. I'm being honest. For Conviction, definitely would like to see him come back the next split, knowing that they're going to be ending this fourth place for themselves. But for AOE randoms, man, imagine we saw this against Revival and could have seen a different kind of finals. Would have changed up the game, being straight up honest. But for AOE randoms, they got the 3rd place finish. They're going to be looking to play in the Challengers Uprising Open Qualifiers, now knowing that they made it in with a good upset against EGP. Wait.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Claps across the board for the AOE randoms team. And then, good job on y'all because I'm excited to see all of y'all go into it in Challengers Uprising. But with that being said, guys, last part, MVP. All right, first off, rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to announce the MVP, guys.
All right, ready?
All right, I'm gonna call it. All right, I'm gonna call it. Okay.
Right.
3, 2, 1, shoot. Okay, Ravish, you got it. Ravish, you got it. Who was the
Let's go,
MVP
baby.
for tonight,
Yo.
my man?
It was my man Pocus, bro, on that bottom side as the support. The Heimer play came out swinging, and I'll be honest, bro. Yo, fam. First, I thought, yo, wait, is Colomer drafting this? Because you got Senna Heimer on the bottom lane. The Donger came out to play, but it was still, like you mentioned, Will, a good old time, bro. My man had 50 assists throughout the entire series. A genuinely impressive number to put up. And as a support, nonetheless, bro, I got 9 kills too, bro. I won't get 9 kills in some series that I play. as I
Hey,
believe
yo.
Will has cut out, bro. So
Ravish, you're now the
don't worry.
now the
No,
host now.
no,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
worry.
Yeah,
I'll go and
yeah,
take
yeah,
this
No,
whole match, but with that being
yeah.
said,
I'm back
I'm
in.
gonna
Don't
steal
worry.
From him and give it to you.
I'm back in. Don't worry, dog. I'm back in. Just making sure. All right, I should be back in. Okay. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here. Y'all see
Okay.
me? I'm a little fuzzy. You know, just because I got a lot of drip going on. But that's gonna be it for all of y'all guys. We're gonna be closing now for tomorrow. We're gonna have the grand finals between AOE Brady and Revival. That's gonna be a hell of a match because it's two awesome Proving Grounds teams that are gonna be competing. So y'all stick around.
Wilskins, by the way, for the finals.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Wilskins, my bad. Oh crap, my
There
bad.
you go. You almost had
yeah.
it. You had
You
Revival.
I almost had it.
bro.
You
okay.
know what? It's whatever. My kids are going to be playing in the finals, but that means tomorrow we have Ravish beat down another guest, and of course Travis T and Rebel Fox bringing you all that action. Stay tuned, stick around, and watch that goddamn finals because it's going to be hype as F. All right? Peace out.